Y'all ready? Hey y'all, hello everyone. Thank you too. Lord, I'm drunk. Welcome to the Ladies First Podcast, Volume 5 with me, Niecy, Jamie, and Bondi. Okay, make sure y'all say hello in the chats. Make sure y'all like the video in the chats. And we are, look girl, what a picture at? Where we at? Boom, there we go. We are here. I'll take the picture off. So how's everybody doing today on this good little Friday Eve?
Excellent.
Good. I'm ready.
So we have a lot to discuss. The Bondi shimmy is going on already. Okay, because we are happy to be here with y'all. Married at First Sight, Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, Lord Jesus, not Greenleaf. What's it called? Queen Sugar. And then of course, as we know, Married at First Sight. Now y'all know Married at First Sight is last. So it's always last. So just come on, sit down and be quiet and wait till we get to it. Because we're not gonna do that first. Yes. So the first thing we talked about discussing today was Martell punk ass Holt. Okay, there is a video circulating on social media because Martell went live on his IG page. And on his IG page, he did an 11-minute video where he was going in on Mel. He claimed that Mel had the kid for 7 days, that she did not bathe the youngest baby. He claimed that she left the kids with a babysitter while she went out of town, and the babysitter who had her own child. Why would Mel leave the kids with a babysitter? I'm like, that's what they do. And he was just saying all the stuff. He also went in the car with the kids and was asking the kids about what their uncle had said to them, what he has done for them or whatever. He claims the kids were just saying things as the dad asked them. But I feel like, why would anybody put their kids in that position? What do y'all think about Martell punk ass Hope and his bullshit?
It's the same thing that he's always done, which is try to make Mel look bad because he looks bad. Somebody in the comments in the Facebook group, because I'm a part of the little Love and Marriage Holdsville Bell Collective Facebook group, and somebody was like, in the wintertime, a lot of people don't bathe their babies every day like that. They'll wipe them off, but they won't actually like put them in full water if it's cold outside because they'll stay sick that way. A lot of people were saying that. I'm not a mother, so I don't know about that. But I still felt like I still don't believe that Mel would not take care of her kids. And I also feel like, how is her dropping the kid off with a baby different than him dropping the baby off at the kids off at his mom's house, or dropping it off with Tisha, the way Tisha let it be put out there, that he likes to do and doesn't tell Mel about that shit. For me, the issue was Uncle Marcus, but I feel like still conversation that y'all should be able to have off of social media. And when you bring things to social media, it's obvious it's just because you're trying to get people on your side, make you look worse. So I just think he's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he is definitely trying to make Marcus as well as Mel look bad. The main thing for me that was concerning more so was like the conversation about Marcus and the things Marcus said to the kids and how he's treated the kids, because the information was old. So why, if the information is as old as it's been, why would you bring it up now? What was the trigger for you to bring it to the forefront now when Marcus confronted you like an episode or so ago? So that was like really confusing. What else did I want to say about Martell? I don't know. Like, I feel like he nor Mel is actually innocent, but I really feel bad for the children, because it's like the kids, to me, they say whatever they think that parent wants to hear at that time. When they with the daddy, they say stuff to make the dad feel good. And I think when they get with Mel, they do the same. So I kind of feel, I just really feel bad for their kids as they, grow up. I don't know. But Yeah, I didn't really like that whole overall 11 minute. I didn't like how he interviewed the kids, asking them what all was said. And then he went back into the camera, letting the kids know that I'm filming this for another reason, for other people. Like, them being on TV ain't enough. They already on TV. We already see them. So why would you take it to the next level to do a live and have the whole camera thing? Like, if that's your truth that you say you're going to be speaking, then I feel like you can speak that without having to involve your children in your nonsense, because I feel like they're involved in that enough.
Facts. I feel like everything Martell does is calculated, and I feel like it's making him look worse than anybody else in this situation, because it's like we can't even listen to the words that's coming out of your mouth without thinking about you deciding to say these words in front of your children. So he's not realizing that's making him look dumb. I wasn't able to watch the 11-minute video yet, but one of the things I noticed from the short clip is you can tell he really gonna have them kids fucked up. The dynamics, okay? The same little girl that answered him is the same girl that was like, I want to stay with daddy because he gives us cookies and ice cream, right? And then you see the youngest son, Martell Jr., right? I mean, the oldest son, ain't that Martell Jr.? He's sitting in the very back, not saying nothing. So he is going to have a whole different experience in this situation than the youngest two. And Martell don't realize that in the end, he's really just fucking up his kids.
And it's weird, I feel like I don't mind him speaking his piece, because as he said, Mel doing a song, he don't do a song, so he want to say his piece. Like, say your piece, but don't say it in front of the kids. I think that was what made me mad, not what he claims Mel did. I'm like, that's that man business. So I'm like, what you was out the car, you went to the car to get with the kids to then record them. And I seen someone put up and they said, oh, well, Mel was also in the episode when she had the kids talking with the therapist lady or whatever, and she was having her ask the kids. And I said, that's different. That's finding out how the kids feel about what they're going through versus you, the father, asking them what your uncle say. You know, or even saying it for them how their mama left them with a babysitter, as if their mom did something wrong. When truth be told, he also leaves them with people too. He may not do it and leave the state, but she has to work. She has to earn money. She has 4 children. And I also didn't like how he kind of implied the babysitter can't handle 4 kids and her own kid. Well, bitch, you're finna have 5 kids too. So you never have all 5 of your kids. Like, your wife has 4 children that she has to keep all the time, even if she has help. A babysitter is supposed to watch children, and if she's out of town, she's supposed to leave them with somebody, and then she can exchange them with you. And when he brought up how they have dirty clothes, I feel like, well, yeah, because the clothes they wore was dirty. Wash them. It's not as if they come to you in dirty clothes, but if they bring dirty clothes, just wash them. I just think he's trying to make himself be a good parent, and he isn't.
Yeah, like, oh, I take the kids on hikes and all of this type of shit. And Mel, like, somebody was was twerking in a video, embarrassing the kids, and they was telling her to stop. I'm like, who didn't do that with their mom? Whose mom never like danced? And you was like, Mom, stop. Like, it's what kids do. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like people try to make Mel out to be the bad guy, but going back to that scene with the therapist, I mean, with the counselor, her friend, I noticed Mel barely spoke a word that entire scene. And she did that on purpose because she was not trying to lead her kids anywhere. Okay. Yeah, I do feel like she does pay the situation as well. Don't get me wrong. She's not 100% perfect in this situation. Who could be? But I still feel like she did not put the kids in it the way he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've even noticed it. Like, when he came over to the house that day and he like, you know, oh, why are you acting like this? You know, y'all leave out the room. You don't want mommy to get upset. Like, all of that type of shit, like trying to make kids feel away. So I feel like he just keeps doing it in all of these different ways. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's like, you are the reason. in the words of Scotty, you are the reason. You are the reason for the breakup of your family. So why are you mad now? That's what I'm not understanding. You the reason that you probably finna go in there. You about to hit rock bottom. You ain't finna have that. Everything is frozen until this. Like, you are the reason that you don't have your wife. You are the reason that y'all have to alternate your children back and forth each week. So I'm confused as to why are you mad now? as a man, and for his mom to sit up there and say that he's a good man. No, he may have aspects of being a good man, like being a good father, being a provider, but that one mistake he did, followed by those actions, are overshadowing all of that. So it's like, if you're a good man, so you think, sit in that shit. Like, just sit in the mistake that you made. And a good man is going to put their children, you know how Marcel loves saying he thinks about his kids, he do this for his kids, but then do enough for your kids to think about them before you get on social media and you react. Now, if they mama do it, that's on her. Mel has to answer for her own actions. So for you, do right by your kids and just don't speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like they're on TV, and thank God that we are in a pandemic, because they're able to kind of be at home and be, you know, taught virtually than having to go to school and deal with this SHI. And so it's just a lot. I just wish that he would just realize that, be the good dad that you say that you are, and have some type of restraint, because you didn't exercise restraint within your marriage. So the least you can do it is outside of it now.
And thank God that they are being filmed, because imagine some of the shit that he would do if no cameras were around. Imagine stuff he does when no cameras are around, or the type of ideas that he tries to plant into their mind. Even whenever he was like, he shouldn't be touching y'all. Like, you kind of getting tricky with the word choice right there. And I see what you're trying to do. That's real nasty, because you know it wasn't like that. So yeah, he's dangerous as fuck.
And the one thing I did not like, how he kept saying that, you know, I instilled in my kids this, that, and the other, as if he's been a single father for the past however long. I'm like, you have a whole wife. It's like, it's weird how he acts as if he's the only one that has raised his kids. He's the only male, ain't did nothing. I'm like, why make it? I'm the one that did. I'm like, no, y'all were a whole married couple. Before this, y'all was a picture perfect. So why is it now that you were the one who has been the main parent raising kids? Because now because you cheated and you are the one who looks the worst, now you want to like, well, no, it was me. He really is, and it's like, he may be having them. I don't know if he's going crazy, if he has a brain issue. You can't think this stuff is normal.
He's unraveling. That's what it looks like. And the thing about it is, you know, like you said, we watched y'all, we saw y'all, nigga, we can see you. Y'all were doing everything together. Y'all would go and pray with that night together. Get the kids, you know, together for school. Like, y'all was always doing everything together. So for him to now act like Mel never contributed to the raising of their children, I instilled that in them, just me by myself. I was just like, what? Like, it's just ridiculous. First of all, if for nothing else, the lady out all 4 of them damn kids. Okay? And then pop back like it wasn't nothing, and still was your little cute on-piece wife out here with the little girl with the shark teeth. And I just, she's so dumb. She think he a prize with her little shark teeth. That's why she think he a prize, because she got shark teeth. Okay.
I have never even seen the girl. I've never even seen the girl before. I don't even know what she looked like. I've never tried to look her up. I'm gonna Google her and look at her one time, because I don't know what she look like. But he think he right and he wrong. He really feel like he has a reason or the right to be upset after the end of your marriage literally came because you kept having an affair. And it's weird. It's like, why are you going on social media? I feel like Mel has not went on social media to respond to him in the way that he do. Like, does he keep doing little stuff on social media? And I feel like he's using social media to try to spray Mel, because I think he see what that's her. Okay. We're gonna leave that alone. But I feel like he feel like he know what he did on the show didn't work. He feel like, okay, people not really buying my bullshit. So why the show airing? Let me also go on social media and spray Mel and make it seem as if, okay, she ain't being a good mom. She's putting the kids up on other people. It's like, she has to work. How you upset because she got a babysitter,
right, to
make sure her kids were somewhere in one place while she wasn't there, and she made sure that the kids got to you? Because truth be told, she can't trust you. Because what you gonna do? Because you're crazy. I'm like, how much worse can it get? Is what I'm like. What else can he do that's gonna be worse? And it's like he always do something more stupid.
I can't wait to see the way finds whenever she really does come out and introduce whatever man she may be dating to the world, he gonna lose his shit.
That I want to see. I really want to see that. So it was also on social media, and I saw a post. Okay, now look, I be seeing all kind of random stuff or whatever. I be asked like, "What y'all think about this?" So trigger warning. This is about a married couple, and what do you feel like can happen if you don't want to give your husband some stuff, and he insists on wanting it or trying to take it. Not that he took it, but he wants to try to. So I want y'all to just be forewarned. You know, it's just gonna be a random conversation. So I was on IG and on is her name Dimitri? I can never pronounce her name right. Demetrius Lucas? Dimitri. How you pronounce it, Bonnie? There we go.
I think that's right.
I follow her.
Yeah. I love she all good stuff. So she posted this because she was in the group and this conversation came up in the group. So my husband came to my office unannounced today, asked me to tell my secretary not to allow anyone in from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. I thought he wanted to talk about something important, but no, he wanted some sex. I told him it was my working hours and that I could not, do that. He got pissed and then tried to force himself on me. She then screamed for help. Now, she said she gives him sex at home when he wants, so she does not understand why they're having these issues of him wanting to request it at her job. So he came in, he was naked in her office when help finally came. He got dressed. He then removed his wedding ring and threw it on the floor. He's not home yet. He has not called me since this afternoon. What do I do or say to him when he returns? And the question that I posed to the panel was, I wonder, one, who was the one who either took it too far or did not stop when they should have? Is it ever okay to want to leave your spouse because they will not give you sex? Because for him to have took his ring off, not call her, he not came home, is him wanting to leave her alone, not talk to her because she just did not want to have sex at her job, mind you, at her job. Should she have explained? Like, what do y'all think could have happened in this whole situation?
Thinking about the actions of the husband in this situation, it's something wrong with that man. That's all I can think. It's absolutely something wrong with that man. I can only imagine what the backstory is to that. Number one, like work sex be sounding real fun and stuff, whenever you see it on TV and stuff, but ain't nobody really trying to do that unless you paying the water and electricity at your building, at your place to work and everything. Because ain't nobody trying to lose your job over some dick that you can get at home. So I think it's definitely something wrong with that man. And I'm going to just say that he's wrong in this entire situation.
So I have three things. One, y'all know I had to write my notes because my mind, it ain't as good. But my first one is, well, it's really a statement. I don't think that it's ever okay to force yourself on your mate, whether it's a woman or it's a man. And yes, women can do that because we saw it on Bridget and I felt a way about it. Okay. So I don't think that it's ever okay for you to try and force yourself to have sex with your mate if that's not what they want. Two, I want to know, is this man on drugs? Has he just started taking some type of substances that has made him go to this level? Like, have y'all done this before or something like that? And he just happened to be working in a new office and he thought it would be okay to do that this time. And then the last thing, what really came to mind is this man cheating for real? And he knew that you was going to be affected by this. So he created, because men will do this, hateful, evil men. They will create a situation to use that as an excuse so that they can go out and do what it is they want to do. His whole plan was to throw that ring down on the ground anyway. So that's what makes me wonder, like, I think your husband may be cheating on you and he created a scenario so he can kind of like let you know that y'all probably headed for a divorce or something. Especially if you give it to him on a regular at home. Why would you need to come to me in the middle of the day? That right there sounds like a setup. But those are my thoughts.
Jamie took the words out of my mouth. That's my sentiments exactly. It definitely made me feel like he was setting it up. Like, I'm doing this so that I could eventually go and do this and have a reason for why. Oh, you didn't give me sex. So that means that I could go and, you know, fuck on somebody else. When the truth of the matter is, no, that's not a good. You not getting sex does not mean you're entitled to cheat. It does not mean you're entitled to take shit. But, you know, some of us like to be right on the verge, you know, like, get off me. But no, don't really get off me. No, like, yeah. But, you know, but at the same time, you showing up to the job and then being butt ass naked takes me to a drug place. Like, why are you, like, you listen, okay? I've had sex in places that I shouldn't have had sex in. And I'm just saying that, you know, you don't have to be butt booty naked. And normally you wouldn't be, just in case somebody came in. You don't want to have to put everything back on. It, like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to unzip. You're going to pull his shirt out. You know what I'm saying? You're going to, you know, pull your pants down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do it. But so he was going through something, obviously. Probably fucking somebody that he do drugs with, child. But I personally feel like that should make her feel like I don't need to know where he is. And if he shows up here, he not in the right mind, I'm calling the police or he gonna get a shot in his ass. It's one or the other. But that energy screams that I might not, you know, we may not meet each other at a good place. It might be a confrontation even when we do see each other. You know what I'm saying? I would be happy he didn't come home. I would put his shit out and then, you know, send the divorce papers over to his mama house or some shit like that. Don't come over here. Because that made me feel like you was going to try to take something from me as my husband. And I'm supposed to feel safe with you. So as soon as you make me feel like I need to call security on you, we don't need to be together.
Right. That was part that got me, the fact that she called security on her husband. I'm like, at what point are y'all married that you not trust him so hard that you knew that you needed help in that? Because usually, even in relationships, you know how to calm somebody. Like, look, calm the fuck down, leave me alone, go ahead somewhere. Like, she knew for a fact I needed someone to come in to help me because he was out of line. And I'm like, for him to take his ring off, I feel like he did it to make her feel guilty. To make her feel like, okay, because I said no to you, I'm going to leave you, fuck you. So that when he comes back, she'll be so nice and she'll never want to say no again. And I think it's a thin line between, you know, want to have fun at work with your husband, because it can be fun if you do it right, versus I'm telling you, not right now. I can't do that. My job does not allow me to have that freedom. And you feeling as if, well, I'm doing it anyway. So I'm like, I think in her, I hope she don't get back with. And I do hope he just stay gone and he be gone and he be gone. And she don't have to feel like I need to appease him so that he don't leave me again. Because I'm like, that to me is a whole mind fuck. He came to my job. I said, no, now he gone. And I think a lot of men do that because they want the control. And I'm like, so could that be why he did it too? He wants more control over her because, again, I'm going to leave you if you don't do this. I'm coming in bed. I'm to be butt booty naked, and because why she calling security? Put your clothes on because they're on their way. So it's like he also wants to make it feel like, okay, at work it's gonna be a whole thing now. So you know her husband came with butt ass naked and now he embarrassed. So something else for her to have to deal with because she said no to him. And this is a whole mind fuck. That's why me and are stupid sometimes. Get on my damn nerves. I hope she don't lose her job either. But you have to know when and what your job is that allows you to do certain stuff. I think, why did he think he can come to her job and tell her secretary what to do anyway? Like, why even boss her around and say, hey, don't let nobody else come? I'm like, she got work to do. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not on my watch. Oh, no, that's not. So that was all for that one. Now, I think we're going to do basketball. We're going to do basketball wise first or love and hip hop. What my note says. Oh, Delilah. So Delilah, which I wish I would have got to think of the show, a picture, but I did not. So Delilah is a new show that is on OWN. It looks to be like a scandal-ish, girlfriend-ish, law-ish show. But it looks interesting. I like how I don't feel like I've seen this before, but it also still seems familiar to where I want to watch it. And it was a 2-hour premiere that came on Tuesday, I think it was, or Wednesday. This also had Jill Marie Jones, who was Tony from Girlfriends. I felt like her character was still much Tony-esque. I think it's Tony grown up in a different city with New Joan, but still, again, different, but not the same thing. And I liked how the actors, I don't really know many of them, so it's something fresh. So I'm not looking at any of them like, okay, I know you from that, and that. I can see them as their characters, and the main character, Delilah, she's mysterious. I feel like we don't know. It's something below the surface that we don't know about her yet that I want to see be unpeeled episode. I don't want to fully review the show. I want to just enjoy it because it seemed like it'll be more enjoyable to just review it. I mean, to just watch it and not review it. Also, the character who was the one she interviewed with them heels on, she reminded me of Tori Naughton as Tasha, but if Tasha was a lawyer. If Tasha wanted to be a lawyer, she gave me that. So I don't know if they could be related, but that's what I thought. I like the show. I want to keep watching the show, and I hope it gets a season 2 because I hate watching the show and it gets canceled after one season, and then you all sad about it or whatever. But I like the show. What y'all think about the show?
I liked it. I mean, you pretty much said everything about the show. I just wanted to highlight the fact that I really appreciate that she's a mom with children, and it looks like she took in another child. I feel like when we see Black attorneys on TV playing in these shows, we don't really see them as mothers. They're typically like just by themselves. They may have a husband, they may not have a husband. Kind of like with Annalise Keating with How to Get Away with Murder. She was an attorney. I think she had the situation with the man, but she miscarried. So we never really got to see a Black woman really be a mom to her kids. So we're going to be able to see her juggling more than one lifestyle, you know, with her kids. And then she got the divorcee. She's a divorcee, I guess, with her ex-husband. And then she got this law firm she's managing. So I'm looking forward to seeing her in those different dynamics of her life.
And she's for the people. Actually, for the people.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that standpoint of it because she's like, you know, if you're not gonna do this or the people don't do it because that's what I'm doing over here. The little young girl that came to work for her, I appreciated her bubbly energy with the and all of the extra information that her secretary didn't have. I appreciated that type A personality, and that made me like perk up a little bit because I needed something because it was a little bland, and she gave me something. That husband, okay, that ex-husband, I wanted to stab him throat. Just because it's like you can't say $200, but you can come up with $5,000 for a fucking violin, but you couldn't come up with 2 kids, you raggedy ass. And who is this bitch you laid up with that you don't want to hit? Okay, so many things. Then Delilah is taking care of, which at first we didn't know. He's horrible. I'm kind of annoyed with her son for that the little boy is there.
I know.
Like, he's so little. Why do you even feel like you're in some type of competition with him? Like, maybe it's just me, but like my cousins used to have to come in and out of our household all the time. So it was never like that. I was always happy to have them there. I never felt like, oh, somebody taking the attention away from me. It never felt like that, especially because I already have older siblings, just like he does. So I don't get what the problem is. Then him calling his Paul to ask if he could come over there. And I'm like, you don't even see the problem with the fact that you got to call him and have this conversation with him. Like, Daddy, can I come and stay with you? For how long? Nigga, however long I want to stay. You my daddy.
I want to be there.
Like, what is going on? Like, whatever. But, that worked on my nerves. But the nephew. So at the end of episode 2, we find out that the nephew's mom just don't want to have her son right now. She laid up with some thick ass brother in the wife beater. And
I cannot believe that part.
I was so mad. I was like, bitch, you mean to tell me you ain't?
Good Jamie didn't watch episode 2.
I'm sorry, Jamie. It was
Mom tuned in. Now you good.
So basically, her brother wheelchair, he went on duty or whatever, he's military, got hurt. Apparently that put some real heat on their marriage. So they broke up, and then the kid ends up with the it's y'all to take out back. He asking for his mama. His mama laid up, like I said, with the thick neck brother and the wife beater. And he come to the door, I'm their friend until he get home. What the fuck you mean you his friend? What is this? Okay.
It was so confusing.
This seems wrong. Like, is she on drugs? Like, what is going on? Why is the okay with it? Why is he making excuses for his wife not taking care of their damn kid? Why is it okay for your sister to take responsibility for your kid? Why does your sister and your daddy not have a good relationship? So many questions.
But I think, is that they daddy, or is that the wife's daddy? Because when he said your sister, I felt like that may mean he's the wife daddy, and that's why Delilah pissed, because how you up here with her fucking daddy and he ain't doing shit and the daughter ain't doing shit. Okay, I thought that could be it, because I don't know though.
Possibility. I didn't think about it like that because of the way it kind of seemed personal thing. So it made me feel like it was her daddy that, was fucking up in some type of way. That's why she like calling him by his first name. But you right. It could be the other way around. But lastly, I wanted to talk about Jill Marie Jones. Jill Marie Jones on this show worked on my nerves. Like, why is Delilah supposed to quit the case just because you want her to? Just because you worried about your career? It's obvious it's some fucked up people shit going on here. And your friend is about the people. Why are you trying to convince her, to not do the case for y'all other homegirl? Like, you may not like her no more, but y'all was friends. And somebody ended up dead. Like, the fuck? This obviously
it was weird, because she was like, when she kept on making it seem as if the friend was like, well, she did it, I'm like, but why keep acting as if the black lady gotta be the one who was on some bullshit and her white rich ass boss didn't do nothing? Like, right. Oh, it can't be that he lying. Right. Oh no, you got to me, I didn't like that either, because I feel like if y'all that good of friends, why would you make it seem as? And I felt like when Jill first asked her about the case, I felt like, did she know something already? And we're trying to get information from Delilah, but I don't think she did. But it was something about Jill in this. I'm like, we may not like her, because you should not want to put your career over your friends, because like, y'all both lawyers, and even if you want to be partner, she has her own firm, and she's also trying to build up. So why not say, you know what, take your case, I'll take my case, and we can just meet in the middle. It was real like bullyish of Jill to be upset about it.
Wonder what their relationships have been like.
Because it's something, because they come in like, we've never faced each other. I'm like, is y'all beefing? Was it a rivalry? They all got cool. Like, it's something, but I like it. I don't want to like Jill Marie, because I liked her own girlfriend. I want to see her in a different role. It's Tony, but it's like Tony 2.0, like Tony
who's grown up a little bit and is able to keep her
man. Yeah, because her husband, I'm like, oh, hey, husband. The husband's friend, I was like, oh, he's a chef. He can do things. But it's a good storyline. The chef.
It sounds like that gave a lot in the first 2 episodes. I'm going to have to watch.
They did. The first one was kind of slow, but the second one was okay. They gave you more in the second one than the first one.
Yeah, I made it through part of the first episode, and I was like, hold on, I only got a couple hours. Let me watch something else. But y'all make it sound good. Let me go ahead.
It was good. It's because I asked Brian, I'm like, is it good enough to watch? She was like, yeah, it's good enough to watch. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, I like it. Like, I'm happy it won't be 2 hours every week, but it's a good. But OWN does really well in their shows. OWN don't really put out BS shows that are not reality shows, but like, they always have a good cast, a good story, good wigs, good clothes. They be trying all day, but I'm like, get it fixed. But yeah, I like Delilah. I like Delilah. I'm gonna keep watching it, and they need to get a season 2.
Now, the girl Delilah interviewed, the one that had the green on, the girl that she interviewed, is she appearing in episode 2? Because something about her gave me a bit sketchy. She was asking a lot of questions and stuff. So I didn't know if she was really looking for an internship or if she had some other stuff going on. Because I saw her kind of take a peek at the paperwork that the assistant gave to Delilah.
She seems to be very on her job, to where she trying to not outdo the other girl, but I think she wants to get hired for one. I do think that's true. But I think when you see the first assistant girl who's kind of friendly with Delilah, she like Nora a lot, but it seems like she can be kind of, I cannot do stuff fully, but and the other girl, like, I want to not show her up, but show you how good I can be. Because she ends up coming back in episode 2 and getting hired. But I do feel like it's something in there, because Delilah said to the other girl, like, she know your whole story. And she don't know who you are, but she mentioned your case. And so she do come back in episode 2, and she gonna be on the whole season. And I like how it seems as if something gonna happen between the assistant girl and now this new girl. It's something there to where, because how does she know so much? Even saying, oh well, it's a new way to do the answers to the complaints. It's weird with that, because I'm like, how she know? How you looking up? How can you see it from where you was? So yeah, she doing something.
To me, it seemed as if she was more so one of those girls that's like overachieving because they really trying to get out their circumstances. It gave that vibe, especially when we saw her on the bus, and she tells her, "Oh, I just want a 401k, and you don't even have to put anything in it." And she was like, "Let me just let you know, $50, I'll give you kids, whatever." To me, it seemed like the girl just really wanted to prove that she was good enough to be there. And I kind of did all this extra research and shit. But I do think it might be some suspect for sure.
There's something weird about it.
But I think she'll be on the good side of things. That's how because her personality is infectious, so it kind of made me feel like this is somebody y'all gonna try to keep for a minute. And I'm interested to see what the relationship between her and the other secretary is gonna be like, because other secretary is laid back. She seemed like shit, but this seems like she got type A energy. Like I gotta find out, is there something else going on? She's gonna go the extra. So yeah.
Even the girl who got the case, I was concerned with her coming there for help. One, I can't pay you, but I don't know much or whatever, but I want some money. But then when they offered her that money to sign over our stuff, I didn't like how she's like, you know what? I don't care what they want. I just want money. I'm like, so do you want stuff to be fair for you or money and that's it? I'm happy that the letter talked her into not signing the stuff over and going to the whole case or whatever. But I'm like, why she get that how much money can she get? I'm gonna get $1 million. Is it fat? I'm like, girl, let her work her job. So something about her makes me feel like she don't know. I think she don't know what she got herself into.
Right.
And she don't realize how deep it can go. But it was really a good show to me. So I'm gonna keep watching it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're gonna go on to, let's do basketball wives to get them out the way. This episode to me was like the sisters and Jen turning to OG, and then also OG talked with Malaysia and Kristen. I feel like I liked the sisters last episode. I felt like they had neutral energy. They were trying to not, pick sides or whatever. Like, that's how they acted. They went over there to that damn mean house and came back mean girls. I'm like, how y'all go over there for this one little time and came back like this? I think them talking to Shani about what OG told them, not just told them, but just saying at the table, for them to go and speak for OG. I am on OG's side of, don't speak for me because you don't know me. You don't know my story. Like, you knew one thing I told you. Even if OG's tone was aggressive, even if it was mean or whatever, she was upset she told him, I am aggravated. So when you don't talk nice sometimes. I feel like, don't listen to how she said it, but listen to what she said. Y'all went and spoke to me and I didn't ask y'all to. And I think from that moment on, they didn't like her for whatever reasons. And I think they wanted to join the side of the girls. Someone posted on social media that they wonder if they brought the girls in to make OG feel vulnerable so they can then use them to also be against OG, because that's why I so quickly turned once they went over to the house. Because why they went and sat with Shani first and no one else over there? So what y'all think?
I think tone can play a factor. Like, maybe OG's tone could have been a little better. But one thing about OG to me, OG doesn't really BS, and she's very direct with what it is that she says. And some people may consider that being like aggressive with it coming from her. And I don't think that's the case. I think she was just being very direct and forward with how she was feeling, and she wasn't pussyfooting like a lot of these ladies are used to somebody doing when it comes to her feelings. Another thing for me, I know a lot of people are using this situation with the sisters to diminish what really happened with OG, but I'm gonna say it like this. If the sisters feel as though that was their experience with OG is she was being aggressive and things, then their experience is their experience, and it does not take away from OG's experience with these other ladies. So let's not do that. Let's not try to say, oh, see, these ladies feel as though she's aggressive and it's this and it's that. If that was their experience with OG, because they're just getting to know OG, they're learning OG's personality. If that's what that's their experience. But do not try to use that as a way to diminish her experience of how she was with these ladies and what they did to her. Another thing I wanted to point out was Shawnee saying that she wanted OG to be understanding when they have a sit down conversation and to be vulnerable. But my thing is, it's not that OG isn't being understanding. It's the fact that y'all keep coming to this lady and y'all be expecting, y'all come to her and y'all want to know, like, well, what happened? What is this? How did I harm you? Now, that may make sense when you're trying to make up with somebody and you're like, hey, how did I harm you? Tell me, I want to get this right. But here's the difference for me. Y'all have a full season on display of everything you've done to her. She should not have to explain anything to you about your actions and what you have done at all. So at this point, it's not so much as her trying to get y'all to understand, it's y'all coming to her with awareness and acceptance and acknowledgement of what you've done to her and apologizing for that and wanting to move forward with change action. So that's what we asking for, but y'all can't keep asking this lady to just tell me this, tell me that. Like, you have it on full display. So at this point, it's not for OG to really talk because she was the one being harmed. In my opinion, I feel like she's at a place where she's open to listen and not hear y'all BS and y'all give her a genuine apology. But the issue is nobody wants to accept the fact that they could have actually operated in the realm of racism as well as colorism. And that's why we continue to go around in this circle. And we're going to continue to do it for the rest of the season. But that's my opinion on that.
And Jamie, I'm happy to have you back. Let me say that.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking at you talking. I'm just sitting there
For
like,
real. I'm like, yeah.
I missed you last week.
Thank you. I miss y'all too.
I'm gonna just say I agree. I agree with all of that because to me, I felt like, first of all, they shot the episode up so weird. I could not help but to notice the differences in what's going on versus what the girls were saying to professionals. It really made me dislike the sisters strong, honestly, because it made me feel like y'all are purposefully constructing a narrative to make OG look bad when that's not really what was happening. And also, I felt like Jen had the nastiest attitude of anybody, but everybody's acting like it's OG. It's like OG just finished cooking people food. OG just finished cooking specific type of for people that she just met yesterday. She just gave y'all these little pink robes, like that was on her Instagram, that she had gave them shit while they were there. So it's not like I'm watching the episode like, did she just say, oh, here are your easy, your easy eggs or whatever the fuck she said? Y'all, I don't know, whatever. Y'all know I scrambled, whatever. Over easy. Thank you, babe. Over easy eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, this bitch is in here, like, not only cooking a Nigerian meal last night, but now she cooking breakfast after the workout. The audacity to act like she's the one that's not like dealing with the girl. Like, oh, it was Jen with her, flabby stomach and, her weave all in her face and shit. Bitch, who works out in the face full of makeup?
Yes.
That just annoyed me. And as far as the end of the episode, Malaysia, JLee, you said it best. You like she used her best media training. She used her best knowledge of her words and how she comes off and everything in order to talk. But I still feel like it's coming from a place of change your mind about how you feel. Even Shawnee talking to the other girls. First of all, I want to bring it up saying that they humanized OG and just blew my motherfucking mind because I was like, so you don't understand how you are not viewing her as human? That's a part of the colorism, racism problem here. You're saying all the things, you're using all the words. If it were white women doing this to one black woman on a cast, everybody would be losing their fucking mind.
Would be done.
Everybody would be dragging this show for film. They wouldn't want the show to stay on. I mean, people don't want this show to stay on anymore. People are dragging this show because we're not blind, but they're on the show acting like we're 2005. and we're not going to really deal with it. We're just going to act like everybody's tripping and keep skating over it and reinforcing it. And it's just even more upsetting. And every week I regret like sitting there to watch it, to review it, because I know I'm going to be mad. But I also feel like we need to have these conversations. Y'all don't get to put this bullshit on here and think that we're not going to have an adverse reaction to it. We should be upset. We should comment about stupid and fucked up, and y'all need to do better or get off air. We should do that because y'all think it's okay to put this type of shit on TV.
Bunny, I was gonna let her. I was gonna let her and her stomach live and her tired ass live. I was gonna let it live, but since you brought it to light, and no lie, Jen did have the worst attitude. I'm gonna sit here in my mask and just not say nothing. Shanae Honey in the comments called out. I agree with you 100%. Jen was jealous that she wasn't getting all this mediation that OG was getting. And another thing, I think it was Phoebe who said that it was no possible way that Jackie was friends with these girls because they was way too young, way younger than her. But then whenever I saw the girls sit next to Shawnee, I was like, high key, they too young to be friends with Shawnee. It was giving me very much like a job onboarding. Whenever they came and sat down with Shawnee was like, how are y'all? What's your connection? It felt like they were onboarding for a job. And I'm like, okay, I see how y'all work. Y'all are trying to get in where y'all fit in. And honestly, the show has been, it's been a year since they filmed, or a year and a half or something like that. So I could give them benefit of the doubt and be like, if you look at the situation, if you came into it the way that they came into it and you genuinely believe that these girls were trying, then maybe you could be bamboozled into thinking that OG just wanted to have a bad attitude. But the show was off for a year and a half. You had been trying to make connections to be on this show. You had the resources to find out what they were doing was wrong. So I'm not going to act like you didn't know. Y'all knew. Y'all was just trying to get in where y'all fit in. So I am looking at the sisters very much sideways. And I felt like they were trying to pick something by saying, OG was like, I don't need you telling my story. Which is understandable. And OG could have said it any way she wanted to say because whatever she had to say was valid. You don't know OG like that. You don't know the other girls like that to be going back and forth and mediating. Mind your business. That's the number one rule of every reality TV show. Don't come on here speaking about something you don't know nothing about. So she could have said it anyway, but they decided to pick a bone and say, oh, well, you don't have to talk to us like a child. All right. So now you drawing the line in the sand. Okay, I see how it goes. So, yeah, I'm not really feeling the sisters at all. They was ready.
They wanted a problem to me.
Yes, I agree.
Once they sat down and talked to Shawnee, I feel like now they understand.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, they understand the hierarchy. They get it now. They realize that, this is where all of the clique is. This is where most of the we need to be over here. We don't need to be over there with, the girls. That's really what it is. So I feel like Jen adopting the attitude of let's shit on OG because they think that's gonna make the other girls, but Furby is gonna throw that situation for a loop because Evelyn,
she sure is.
Evelyn and by proxy, Tony are probably gonna be on Furby's side with whatever she says about this. Calling a girl a stalker and all of that shit when we all know the producers probably vetted the shit out them girls before they brought them on the show, okay, and made sure they had a connection that would have added drama. So sitting up here talking about, I ain't never talked to the bitch, but she's stalking me. Like, okay, Furby, nobody's stalking you, bitch. You just came up out the project. You still don't know what a good vegetable is. Nobody's stalking you, bitch. When your terrible speech level, nobody is stalking you, okay? Cut it the fuck out.
She was reaching whenever she said she sent me porno videos. And when she said that, I was like, what? But then she was like, she sent me a video asking if it was me. You worded it in a way to make it seem like this girl was sending you creepy ass shit. Then you backtracked and said that the girl was trying to find out if it was you. I was like, it ain't really what you trying to make it.
But for me, I'm looking like Furby want to act as if this is her circle. But this is not your circle. Like when she said, I said, your circle.
But
you're not even there.
You're not even in the credits. This is not your.
You're not even there. I'm like, no. And it's weird.
Not even there. That is too funny.
And neither one of them, like, we don't know first. We don't know them or the dude they fussing about. Like, who was it? Like, we don't even know him. So, like, for either of y'all to feel as if, okay, let's air it out on show, like, we don't care. It's just it's me. What do you say?
Yeah, I understand why OG. Oh, go ahead, Bundy.
I was just saying that neither one of them are with the dude now. So the fact that this is even an issue is stupid.
That was dumb for sure. Just to have some beef. I was gonna say I definitely understood OG's frustration with the ladies because it did feel like the Shawnee them could be shaping their, I guess, perspective or how they may see OG. So that's a bit sketchy. And I would feel frustrated as well if they could have a conversation about me with everybody else but me. So I would definitely feel frustrated by that. But I also want to speak on Miss Jen. Jen got on my nerves, and it's very irritating to see her on this show and try to encourage OG to accept conversations with other people when you didn't even want to be on the trip for real, and you don't want to go to the other house or talk with the other ladies. You were the main one that said that more than one time. You almost chopped Kristen head off at your house and told her not to check you about anything because this your house. You're going to say what you want to say, and you don't want to deal with these ladies. So now you see OG in this space, and you trying to encourage her and tell her, well, it was, wise or kind-hearted for Kristen and Light. No, ma'am. And then you tried to comfort OG about the basketball purse she was bedazzling, and you want to sit up there and say, I don't think she'll need that, her man's not playing. When's the last time you've had a man in the NBA? When's the last time you've had a man? While you sit up here talking about she won't need it because of the basketball, you gonna need your cars because all your men keep taking them. You gonna need your coins because they keep taking those as well. But you over here writing and creating a documentary that nobody's fully gonna be entertained in because it's you. So you need to sweep around your front and your back door, including your living room, before you try and go out and try and come at somebody else. Okay. She just really got on my nerves.
Yes.
I just had to say that.
This documentary is your baby, bitch. A documentary about a man that stole your core, bitch.
Facts.
I thought that was a damn joke.
Days like, bitch, for my man.
No one wants to watch that. I feel like
that's why OG thought it was a joke too. That's why she changed the subject.
She was like, girl, look at my purse.
Like, oh, girl, I've been working on this for a minute, girl.
Yeah.
Oh. She was trying to save your dumb ass because you sounded stupid. I'm still mad that the argument with OG through the confessionals, but not to her face. It's the same thing with the twins. Messy ass bitches talking about, you think she can hear us? Won't y'all say it to her face and stop with all the pussyfooting and playing and fake shit that y'all fake as fuck. And then when she confronts y'all, it's gonna be an issue.
You want to add something, Niecy? I know you was trying to say something a minute ago.
What was I gonna say? Oh, probably just how I thought the documentary was a joke. Like when I watched it on the episode and she mentioned the documentary, I let it, like, I didn't pay any attention. It literally just went through one ear and out the other. And it wasn't until I started watching reviews and heard the mention of a documentary, I was like, wow, that really did happen. Like, I wasn't tripping. She really did say that. So that's all I have. Oh, and another thing, there is no reason in 2021 for Jen to still be looking the same as she did in 2013 on these seasons. All she is missing is the hoop earrings with the bedazzled beads, and you won't be able to tell the difference between 2013 and 2021. Like, just switch it up. Give us something else. That's all.
They think she went the same fashions from back then too, because she ain't got no money. But I just don't like Jen. Honey, Jesus. Jen made me mad because Jen made it seem as if she had any valid reason to be upset with anyone. And I kept thinking to myself, if you don't care about Jackie beef, if you don't care about OG beef, if you don't care about even talking to the other ladies, why did you come? It's like, I don't get how you are here, but you don't want to either care about. Because even when Malaysia and Kristen came over and the sisters asked her how she felt, I don't care. Then why are you here? Like, it's like you boring. Because at least have an opinion on somebody. Pick a side. But don't act as if you are just above and beyond what's going on. Because, again, you're in the house for a reason. Because you have nothing else going on. So that's she is on my damn nerves. Let me see. So, next up, Love and Hip Hop. With Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. This episode wasn't horrible. I was surprised. Not that the other ones were, but I feel like it was a fun way to have them all together, but this like real issues came up. For me, the main points was really just, you know, Mendices, Judy, and Yandy, and then of course Scrap and Erica. I think Scrap and Erica may be easy to go first because Scrap and Erica they have a conversation. For me, I felt like the conversation wasn't long or detailed. I felt like it was like, you know what, I won't fight no more. We should communicate better and do this for your money. And I think that was the gist of it. But what I did like was Scrappy admitting that he was the reason it went on for so long because he was not grown enough to want to squash it. That's big of him. What I don't like is Erica accepting it as if she didn't have any part to play in how bad it had gotten. The whole part of her, like, you know how you get. I'm like, no, we know how y'all get. So the only part I wish would have happened was she would have took some count of point to say, yeah, I did this, and not make it seem as if, okay, I've been waiting on you for the past 16 years to fix something. So that part was cool. Even Scrappy acknowledging how great it was that Bambi and Erica was able to talk, to get him to talk. I think it's great to acknowledge what women do to make you be better. And Scrap kind of is out the blue growing up, like from yesterday to today. He like kind of like manned up. They drink some. It was like, what happened to where you kind of let go of the anger, kind of, you know, started over. So I'm happy it happened in front of our eyes. So what y'all think?
My favorite part was Mama D singing.
Oh yes.
That was my favorite part. Mama D singing the whole time. But I hate that it's taken them so long to finally have this conversation. It's crazy how long we can hold grudges and not want to deal with people. I'm glad that they were able to come to a place where they could, in person, in the physical, have this conversation with each other and, you know, apologize for whatever actions and be able to move forward. So, I mean, ultimately, I think that's what's up. And I think that daughter's like, what, 15, 16? I don't know why I thought this girl was like 18 years old. But I'm glad now it makes more sense. Say what, Bondi?
I think she, you know, she's tall and, you know, look a little older for her age, like some of these tall girls be looking.
Like Riley.
Yeah, like Riley.
Yeah. So that makes more sense now with them having this sit down conversation. Like it was needed, and I'm glad they got to that place so they can move forward. So that's what's up. That's the short answer.
I feel like I'm glad that they talked, but I still feel like Erica kind of annoys me a little bit because, you know, the comment she made, and I didn't even talk about it on my review because sometimes I glaze over people saying stupid shit. Like, I'm not even about to give that no energy. But she said the biggest sinner of all is getting up there to, you know, to preach to somebody.
To talk. Yeah.
I was just kind of like, but bitch, that's normally what goes down. Like, normally it's people that have been through a lot and have a lot to say that can offer something. Everybody in the room is a sinner. And Scrappy a bigger sinner than any of these other people in the room. Like, Ray J, bitch, really? Really, you think Scrappy is worse than Ray J? Man, DC's probably done killed some people. And you think that Scrappy is the worst person in the room. Okay. So, you know, to me, it's her still coming from that place of deep down inside. I think she is jealous of the fact that he is for Bambi, which she wanted him to be for her. They have what she wanted. But I don't think that even though she could be perfectly happy with the dude she with now, I still feel like there's a piece of her that will always be salty because Scrappy could not be for her what he is now for the Bam. Even though him and the Bam might be going through shit, he married Bambi. He is there with Bambi. They continue to have children and have a life together and be on vacations and shit. Like, at the end of the day, they have the family that I think Erica and Scrappy were trying to make happen for so long, but because they were so different, you know what I'm saying? Like, with him being somebody that needed so much affection and her being somebody that was deprived of it in such a way that she doesn't know how to give it. So I just kind of felt like both of them they just weren't good for each other. Sometimes you love people, but that doesn't mean y'all are supposed to be together. And I think sometimes that's hard for people to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad they talked. I'm glad Bambi was brought into the conversation to make sure that it is still understood. This is my wife. And we want all to work out of all of us and not no other little shit that could possibly take place if they cool. Like if they cool, these text messages about e-money can turn into some text messages about some other shit too. So I just kind of feel like there have to be parameters. I don't give a fuck what Erica talking about. Your little slide comments worry me.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to add to the Erica and Scrap conversation. I feel like y'all captured it all. What I'm really excited to talk about is Mendices and his mama.
Now, Mendices and Judy and Yandy, that was shocking. So we see Scrap opens the flow for people to get their testimonies or whatever. We see Princess Pierce say some bullshit. People say bullshit about what stuff is. But when Mendices got up, and I liked how he started off by saying that he don't usually talk because he feels out of place. He always feels as if he doesn't fit in. And I never realized it. I think that's why he sometimes look like he's looking for a place to go hide. Like he's looking for someone to be in a room, but still not be the center of attention. Like, where can I go and stand and like watch it happen? But no one's focused on me because I don't know what to do. And I think it's a good thing that he's starting to let his guard down, to be more open about things. And we need to talk about, he was shot twice. He was stabbed 13 times. They tried to kidnap him. It was a plot to kidnap his son. How he was selling drugs from a young age. Before even at 6 years old, he was basically being used as a drug mule. Just, to transport back and forth. He met his father one time at 16 and never again. He was given his story. And a part of that is when he then said how, at times when he was younger, he did not have food. His brother did not have food. And when, I don't know if Judy said why or if Mama D said why, but somebody asked why.
It was Judy.
Yeah, it was Judy. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why she did that. I was like, girl, because he said, you want me to tell it? And she said, say whatever God wants you to say. And he then said, well, sometime Mama wasn't there. And that created a whole mechanism of bullshit. I did not like how Judy got up, stood next to him as if he did something wrong and she was waiting to chastise him. I think that made him shut down more than he wanted to, even though he still, talked about what happened. But I think had she not got up, he could have got to the point of telling her, I'm proud of who you are now versus who you were back then. But I'm like, it was weird for her to feel like, okay, well, if I wasn't there, where was so-and-so and so-and-so? I'm like, what does that matter, bitch? Where were you? Okay, and that part made me mad that she questioned her child, asked her child, well, I left you alone. Where was, I'm like, it don't matter where they were. I like how he's like, we were so young, we didn't know about directions of going here to get an adult. All we knew was the neighbor who was right next door. And to me, it shows he's always felt like he had to protect his mom from how he really felt about her not being there. And Judy getting up and instantly being pissed when he never even downed her. My thing is, you knew you wasn't there. It wasn't as if that was, you knew you wasn't there. He didn't say, well, I'm going to hear you on smoke crack. She wasn't there just in general. And I think she got so embarrassed. She did not want him to reveal more of whatever it was she went through, because he never really did. And even them two talking, and he's like, I can't talk to her because she's not ready for this talk. And she just kept cutting him off. I don't care. And I'm like, she just, to me, came off as she don't care how he feel or what he went through. She's more concerned with how people look at her as his mom. And even to be for her and Yandy, I think because she feels as if Yandy's a better mother, wife, and person who has been down from in DC. She stuck with him through a 4-5-year prison sentence. And they wasn't legally, but she didn't have to stay. I think Judy is jealous of that because Yandy did something for him that she never could do, which would be a constant, stable person, a woman in his life, and not only support him, but support their kids. Like, Yandy held it down. I think Judy is jealous of that, and she always will be. That's my point.
I agree with everything you said. Trial Mouth Judy really annoyed me because it's one thing. I'm sorry, Judy. Trial Mouth, bitch. Ever since you calling yourself Juicy, it's been like, oh, Juicy. Okay, Trial Mouth, I got you. What I see when I it annoys me that you felt the need to make excuses for, oh, well, this person, why you didn't walk across the street, bitch, why your baby didn't take care of themselves when they were children, like, and then like her getting upset with Andy all the time, like, oh, you teaching him to disrespect his mom. I'm like, bitch, if you hit him instead of doing whatever you was doing, then nobody be able to teach Mendici shit, especially not as it pertains to you and how to treat you as his mother. So I got really upset, Judy, and I almost didn't like the fact that everybody went to coddle her and make her feel better about it, because I think that's a part of the problem. A part of the problem is you don't want to sit in what you did. And what you did was you were neglectful, and you're just lucky that CPS and them didn't care about black kids in the 80s, because at the end of the day, somebody should have took Mendicis from you. Mendicis and his little brother should not have been in your care if they went for days without food. I don't care what nobody talking about, because I feel like people wanted to go so soft on Judy, and I'm like, bitch, you left your kids that were 6 and younger by themselves, like they were supposed to know how to take care of themselves. It even pissed me off again when Erica was talking about how her life was like that, and she remember eating sugar and butter because they didn't have nothing else in the house. I don't understand how people could like get older and then be like, oh, it was okay that I totally neglected my kids and they almost starved to death. Like, that's okay. I cleaned it up though. Like, no, bitch, you don't get to come out on the other side of this without acknowledging that you were. So it just kind of annoyed me, and everybody's response to Judy annoyed me. But I did enjoy when Scrappy and Mendicis talked, because, oh my God. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. My husband went upstairs so I can say it. Oh my God.
That's a good combination.
Ooh, like, first of all, Mendici's little tight T self is my type, okay? Like with this, I stand against the back of the wall and check out the whole room, drug dealer life, but I still have a soul type of situation. Like, I love this shit. The hood girl in me loves this shit, okay? And then Scrappy, you know how I feel about, young Merlot, okay? Like, young Merlot is a rougher, and I appreciate that about him. Respectfully, because I love me some Bam. And I appreciate Andy for her struggle. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate Andy. So, it's coming from a respectful place, but those are two beautiful men. So them like commiserating on they fucked up mamas, really touched me in my heart. And then down below my pants. And the part that killed me was when talking about Mama D, and then Mama D posted the picture of her pimp with her hoes was nice looking. It wasn't no like cracked out bitches. These was girls that you would be like, bitch, I thought you worked down to the post office. Like, like you selling cooch with Mama D. Like, Mama D had the red hat with the
whole pin fit. It was amazing.
Okay. But when I tell y'all, I went on today in my live because they, the white girl who went off on that Uber driver. She dated with a black man. So she in her picture, with her ass, y'all know the thigh pose when you stand there, you give the butt shot, but you kind of angle it in a way circumference. This is a black girl pose, okay? And Mama D's picture reminded me of, like where they come from. Black people always gotta, be in their school pictures, they pose, they dance pictures, they party with the pose, bitch, because it was all of us. So we had to be to the side times, and then we had to turn it around and put our hands on the wall. Like, y'all stay stealing from us. But yeah, y'all, Mama D pimp. I'm not even gonna lie, but Mama D is somebody that's had to shit for a while now. You know what I'm saying? As crazy as Mama D is very self-aware. And I even think that when you rewatch Love and Hip Hop, and then even when she used to talk about how Erica didn't have that love to give because she didn't get it from her mama, Erica would get mad and didn't want to hear that, but that was the truth. Mama D definitely has done some work on herself, like mentally, all of that, to be okay with the things that she did to take care of her kids, which I feel like is slightly different than somebody out on the street partying and their kid alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, slightly different, but I get it. Y'all be fucking up y'all kids.
Because partying and pimping two different things. I think mama need pimping to pay bills and not being there is different than Judy. Like, I was out drinking, and it was when Judy said I was out drinking, getting drunk. And if my kids looked at me at night and I wasn't there, like, I'm like, what you mean? Like,
don't.
She said she was at the disco hall. Hall means what?
That means you started out doing coke and eventually started doing crack when the shit was presented to the streets. And in DC said it was the 80s. Whenever a black person says it was the 80s, they're talking about.
That's what it means.
Like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Sit in there, Judy. Oh, that made me mad. It would have been like had somebody actually been home for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, DC's is a smart, like in everything. Everybody can look at him in DC's and see like the value of him as a man. You know what I mean? Even though he made it through the struggle and the struggle made us stronger, we black and we struggling anyway. It upsets me that y'all go and, you know, put the drug shit on top of that. So not only are we all poor, but now y'all are not even home to fend for y'all fucking children. And people just getting over that shit like it's cool or something. I'm done.
Right. I just want to say that I appreciate Mendice's story and where he was going had he been allowed to get there. I don't really have a lot to say about Mendice's and his mom, but I do want to highlight the fact that I did not like that she was trying to punt her faults off on somebody else when he started calling out things they didn't have when he was younger. And it's like, oh, where was this person? What about this? And what about that? And it's sad to see her do that as an adult. Her punt her faults off on someone else the same way she did her children when they were younger. She put her kids off on someone else. Another thing that I really hate is the fact that even as an adult, Mendices has had to protect his mom the same way he has as a child. And I feel like that's too much I feel like that's too much on him, especially now as an adult, you know, you've done him wrong. Like, I just feel like she relies on him so much, which puts a strain on the relationship between he and Yandy and her and Yandy. And I think that, I don't know if she's trying to make up for some things that she's done in the past, but it's still coming across wrong. Like, her approach to things are always just off, and it doesn't help the situation. And with Mendices being like a relatively quiet person, kind of like, I guess, secludes himself and go off into his circle, I don't think he really knows how to make sure mature conversations happen between Yandy and his mama. So it's kind of tough, but I hate that he's in that position. You know what I'm saying? And that man has been through a lot. For him to be so quiet, for him to not really want to talk, it's like, man, DC, what was you doing? You may be quiet, but are you slick? Like, you done got stabbed 13 times. I want to know, at what age did that happen? How did that happen? Got shot twice.
I want details.
That to me,
right.
Mendices is like, you know, I have family members. I know men. I'm saying that because, like, I know Mendices. One of my cousins got shot 6 times and beat the dude ass the whole time he got shot. And my cousin might be 5 or some shit like that. Not even no tall, but fight his ass off because he grew up in the streets because his parents had their own shit going on. So because they was worrying about their shit, they wasn't worrying about him. So he was able to just walk through the neighborhood, and aunties and everybody tried to get a hand as much as they, but it was a lot of us, like cousins, like it was a lot of us. And at the end of the day, my cousin ended up, I feel like, spending most of his adult life in and out of jail because his parents couldn't do what they were supposed to do by him. So I really sometimes get upset about these things because I feel like I've been there to watch it, you know, in real time along the way. And my cousin didn't have to deal with that type because nobody in our family ever told. It's like, we go get like, we don't, they over there by themselves. The fuck? I'm gonna beat her ass when she get home. I'm gonna be sitting waiting for her. Oh, y'all.
It's like the whole family was messed up because it's like if she left the kid with her family, where did they go? And then left the kid. So that's what's weird. It's like, was the whole family on crack?
Hello?
My mama would have found out one of them fucking kids was at the house by themselves. Not only we go and get the kids, but I'm going to court to get them taken away from you. So you feel like you don't have to worry about where they at and if they eat shit. Okay? Like, because everybody had issues in the Black community during that time and all that type of shit happens. But family just leaving them in the apartment by themselves, like, oh, I guess they all right since they ain't called us. They like 5, 6, and 8. Like, I guess they all right. Fuck. That shit is crazy, y'all. That shit is crazy. And that's what I was saying. Mendices being the type of person he is, like, I already know the shit that Mendices probably had to his life, but also how his mind about it. That's why I don't say much. That's why he's reserved. So much shit is under. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Probably, a lot of hurt behind all the things that happen. Trauma. Y'all know how. But Judy not allowing him to express himself, I feel like it's probably a part of why he's like that. And I understood Yandy so much this episode because of how she felt protective over him against mom. I understood that feeling because you do know what it's like to have your partner not really be able to speak what they really feel because they're always trying to protect their parents. I know. So I understood Yandy and her frustration too.
So whenever Mendices got up there and he was like, yeah, I've been stabbed 13 times. I said, my mouth went. Then he said, I've been shot twice. I said, then he said, conspiracy to take my child. I said, damn, Mendices is really about that life. And it was funny to me, not that the situations were funny, but it was funny to me because, like y'all said, Mendices is so quiet. So like Jamie said, I'm like, how? How did this happen, Mendices? Not you. So,
Paid.
You said what?
Y'all remember on Paid in Full? The main character, what's your boy name? I'm spacing.
Was it Mekhi Phifer?
Mekhi Phifer. The other guy, the main character, the one that lived to the end.
I can't think what his name is. But I know you mean.
I'm talking about, right? He was quiet. He was the one that kind of watched the situation. Like, there's a type of dope boy that Mendices is for sure. And it's that type of, dope boy. That's the one that chill. That's the one that's not that real shit with they shit. People don't really know they like bad quiet. They keep to them. But essentially, they so about this shit. Like, they about this shit. Like, that's why I said, like, I recognize like that quietness as also a form of intelligence, not to talk too much because of the lifestyle that you live.
Lucky, I feel like that's how they're trying to make Franklin on Snowfall. But I'll go into a whole nother
girl.
But I will say, when Mendices first got up there and he said we didn't have food, I was like, oh, you said that in front of your mama? Like, I was like, ain't his mama there? Because I knew that was gonna be a problem. Yes, I was looking around like, oh no, you didn't, because like his mama is trifling as fuck. And I don't like how she was trying to gaslight and say she was trying to make herself feel better the whole time. Like, if I wasn't there, well, I gave you this option, and this option. And it's sad because he was 6 years old when he was going through it. Now he a grown ass man, and you still couldn't have. I don't think that Mendices should have used that opportunity to be the first time they had that conversation. But it was on his heart. The other thing is, since he did make that his first time to have that conversation, she shouldn't have shut it down. She should have allowed him to express himself in that moment. She gonna say, well, say what God has on your heart, and then have the issue with it later on. So yeah, she trifling, but I just knew that was gonna be a problem as soon as he was like, we didn't have food. I was like, damn, your mama right there. Because as soon as he said that, I was looking at her crazy as fuck. I was like, what was she doing?
Right. I
wonder if he did that because he thought it'd be safer for him to do that with the camera crew, with the people. Like, she won't flip out because we're on camera. Like, had we be alone, she may be able to go off. But this may be the only safe space I have. Because they showed him sitting there looking nervous. Like, I think he knew I'm finna say some shit. I'm nervous.
At me, man. She about to go off on me. Like, he felt that that's what was gonna happen. He could remember because he was like, you want me to go there? I know that tone. You really want, like, it was like, don't do this now, Julie.
But he didn't even really say. It's weird because he didn't. They could have cut stuff out, but I feel like he didn't say anything besides we had it hard. And then when she then said, well, go ahead and talk. I feel like if you didn't want him to say nothing, or if you didn't want him to be able to be free to say anything, don't say, yeah, go ahead. Like, no, you just go and sit down, son. Like, I think had she said, sit down, son, that would have been a cue to at least let him know, I don't want you to say too much. But I think when she said, go ahead, don't get mad because he then went ahead and said stuff. And he didn't say anything bad. You wasn't there. Mom D wasn't there. Other people in that house, at that ranch, probably had parents who wasn't there. Hell, Jasmine was there with Cardi. Cardi wasn't there. So it's not as if you the only parent in that space that did not raise their kid.
Right.
So what's weird is that she had that reaction, and then it's weird because she was more mad with Yandy than Mendices. That was crazy to me. I'm like, how you mad because she's encouraging her husband to talk to you about whatever y'all have not talked about?
It's because Yandy was literally protecting him with her body language, the way that she talked. She stood, put her hand out, and she had an assertive tone, like, "No, this is what you're not about to do to my husband." And just like you mentioned, how she's jealous of her, that was like the perfect moment to set her off. So yeah,
I definitely feel like she felt that vibe. Like I said, that feeling of protectiveness over me. I could totally understand why she feel like that. Specifically because as a wife, you see, you really get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're vulnerable with her, he really sees the things that Judy, not being there for really harm him and now harm the kids. Like when she mentioned how he is so overprotective over the kids. Which I understand, but ultimately it is, out of fear because of everything to him, and that makes me wonder what also has happened that Mendy probably will never say on national television. But when you scared to let your kids go by other people's house, that's not just because somebody put drugs in your hands. That's because somebody did something to you. And I feel like that's why conversation that Judy really don't want to have, because you really dropped the ball. And that's why I say I want to know, when was it that Judy came back into his life?
I know that they're going to be on the relationship shows coming on sometime next month. I really hope that between Yandy and Mendices, they allow him to explain his past, which I'm sure affects his current time now with Yandy. So I really hope they delve into that on that show. It is not about like bullshit. I want them to really, because I'm like, seeing him, and we've never really, because even when he was on it before, we never knew much about him. He didn't talk to, like, he never was like talking to us, like, just to hear like his story. I'm like, I need y'all to elaborate on what happened.
Like he was that nigga, and Yandy went with a dude that was just that nigga. And I remember it was the baby shower, like one of the second episode where we met, because Yandy had been on the show for all them seasons and nobody had ever seen Mendices, and then she ended up pregnant and was like, he had to come on the show now because she was pregnant. And I remember like, oh yeah, he a dope boy. Like I could tell just the way he was handling himself, and
he had that energy.
Yandy is not gonna fuck with just any old body. And if it's somebody whose career is not something we can have a definition behind, like nobody ever knew what the fuck Mendices did. He just was, he had an office.
He was around.
He was a producer or some shit like that. But y'all know how those lines be blurred in hip hop. Well, the dope boys know some of the rappers and, so forth and so on. So they start managing or producing just because they be around them all the time. So I honestly think that's probably how Yandy and Mendices met in the industry, from him being a dope boy that, people know, and her being a manager of rap boys that be looking for the dope boys. Like, that's kind of, it seemed like to me. But I love him in their, in their relationship so much, because I feel like it made her more likable, because I couldn't stand. But I also feel like Yandy is kind of getting her karma from that Jim Jones Chrissy situation. Remember when she was trying to give Chrissy that damn book on how to be a better daughter-in-law to Mama
to get
Jones?
along with Mama Jones.
It's like Mama Jones is crazy. Like there's no being a better, like she doesn't the same way to me. The same way. Y'all in some way, shape, or form wasn't there the way y'all was supposed to be when them boys was younger. And now that they're older, y'all want to fight with their old ladies for, importance level in their lives, when if you were there the whole time, we wouldn't even have to be going through all of this shit. So I thought it was funny because I think she's now in Chrissy's shoes, where it's like, I don't know what you expect me to do, bitch. I'm not doing nothing. Like, I don't know. I just fuck your son. I'm sorry. I fuck your son. You're upset about it. I'm sorry. But, you know, it be me and your son. Okay.
Lord. But it was a good episode. I think next week it may be the season finale next week. I'm not sure because I thought it was a 6-episode show. And that was episode 5. So we'll see what happens next week with the love and hip hop of it all. Because everything else comes on in April.
It was cute though, y'all. This is the episode I was waiting on because I saw the previews and I knew when they brought up Mendeecees and Judy that was probably gonna be the best part of this whole shit because we had never really gotten to know him. We know more now.
We know him now. See, we know him now. So next up, we're gonna go with Queen Sugar. That came on, was it yesterday? Wednesday? I don't know when it came. I watched it though. But I feel like I still love Queen. I still love Queen Sugar. I do. But I also feel like it's not much happiness in it. So sometimes watching it, I'll be looking like, oh, like I want more good moments. They can make Kofi be naked and I'll be fine with that. But I feel like I'm just, just so much going on with it. But for me, I kind of broke it up in a couple different pieces. So we see Calvin and Nova. I'm gonna go off so I can read it because I can't see sometimes, so whatever. But Calvin tells Nova that his daughter's coming over to visit because the school's closing down due to COVID, and she wants to quarantine with him and Nova. And Nova has never met this daughter of Calvin's. Nova's like, what if she's like her mom or like their family being a little bit racist? And he brings up how no, she doesn't like them. She's the other one who is not like the family. So it's him and her who isn't racist. Nova's like, well, I'm not comfortable with, with her being here, but I'm not going to keep you from your kids. And as they're talking, they're just they both have their stance where he wants them to be closer and she does not want to be around anyone who can make her feel some kind of way. So I can appreciate that. He also brings up how the kid, felt some kind of way when he divorced a mom. So he hopes that this can be a time for them to reconnect and talk. So when the daughter gets there, she's happy to meet Nova. She's like, I've heard good things about you, whatever. I heard good things about you, what you do with your organization. And even at dinner, when they're having dinner, I like how she schooled her dad because they were playing poker and he called her aggressive because she was being aggressive in the game. But poker is an aggressive game. And she told him, like, you can't call me aggressive because I'm a woman. Like, that's not fair. So I feel like she's also had some worldly experiences at the school, and who he thought she was, she's grown from that. And now he's seeing that. Now we do see Nova and the daughter and him have a little talk at dinner where Nova admits that she was going to be nervous meeting her. And the daughter brings up, well, it was not until my dad got with you that I saw him totally happy. And Nova brings up, well, no, he was happy with y'all because he loves you, your siblings. And the daughter, like, no, his heart is full when he's with you. And anyone can see that. And I feel like Nova wanted that piece of acceptance to know, okay, it's not just me. Even she see it like we supposed to be together. And when her and Calvin talk later on, and she's happy things went well, but she's worried about how things will be once they are out of this COVID bubble and they are this black woman and white man in the real world. And he like, it won't be no different. It'll just be louder than what it is right now. Assuring her like, just because we don't hear the hate does not mean that it isn't there, but we still can be in love. I still love them two together. I still like that they care for each other and that they're willing to work things out. So what y'all think about Nova, Calvin, and the daughter, whose name I don't know?
Now, I'm still watching. I'm on season 3, but I did check out last night's episode. I'm not sold on her and Calvin, but as I continue to watch the rest of the seasons, I may like him. I understand you guys mentioned that he kind of married his wife because that's what his family wanted him to do, even though he probably wanted to be with a black woman. For me, I'm still kind of like, but that was still somebody else's husband, Nova. So I just don't even know if I really want to see y'all together, but I'm just going to see how the love story unfolds. I'm glad that she felt a little bit at peace after meeting the daughter, and she was able to see that they kind of have similarities as far as how they think about life and everything. So I think that was great. But I think as her relationship gets better with the daughter, it's gonna get worse with their mama. So when they come up out of quarantine, if you don't get that heat from people that's just looking at you and don't know you, their mama gonna be on your ass. Because Calvin already said the daughter and the mama don't have a great relationship, and it's been like that since she was a preteen. So once she see you hanging out with her daughter sharing things with you that she won't share with her, and you done took her man, good luck. It's gonna be a mess.
I'm gonna say this. My nerves was bad every time I saw Calvin and Nova and a daughter, because it kept making me feel like something was gonna happen, make me upset or make me uncomfortable. It was gonna be something racial, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was happy that that's not what they gave with her, because that's what I was nervous about. But Jamie, you that we gonna have to deal with his wife, because if they can get closer, like it seems they will, she will have issue with that, because she, big mad that neighbor don't want to be with her no more. Like, it wasn't, bitch. It wasn't for y'all. Okay, like, let it go. He never really wanted to be with you, bitch. It's okay. Sometimes it happens that way. Cookie crumble. It's all right. But I also wasn't really sold in a relationship, but I am warming to it as they are together. Like, it definitely over him defending her and being protecting her to his family. So we gonna see.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. She had me nervous when she first came around, because he was like, oh, they're like oil and water. And I was like, why you lying? Come on now. Like, you lying. This can't be true. She gonna come in. She gonna, I don't know. But she seemed like a good person. Jamie, you're right. It's gonna draw her further away from her mom. And I just am nervous to see what kind of shit is gonna go down from that side of the family.
She gonna burn the lady house down. I feel like the mom gonna come and burn the house down, because she's gonna be upset because you stole my husband and my daughter, and she don't like me no more. She like you be the black lady, and I'm gonna burn your house down. And then that's gonna piss Charlie off. It's gonna put, oh Lord, the whole family gonna be fighting. Don't come burn the house down. So yeah, that was it for that part. Now we then see. Let me get to my notes so I can see real quick. We see Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi is on the phone talking with Hollywood, because Hollywood went out of town to see about his mama, and she in the hospital. I'm like, oh Lord, she's in the hospital. Oh Lord Jesus. So she's in the hospital. She's not doing too good, but they would not let him see her. And we see Aunt Vi just trying to talk to him and keep him calm and everything. And then when he calls her back later, he tells her that they're going to take mom off the ventilator. And then, of course, mom dies. That's very, very sad. But to see Hollywood at the house, and I love this picture of him sitting there, because I love all the colors of the wall. It was like darkness, but also light in one. And him sitting there reading like old postcards that he had sent his mom that she had kept. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there, and then as he's reading out loud, he just busts out crying, and he let out, saying that my mama did cry. And I was like, oh my God. And I like how he fully, in my opinion, it's hard to make that noise that a person makes when a parent died. And I felt like he made that noise. I was like, I like that. Now back at the house, we do see Aunt Vi, and she was just talking with Prosper, because Prosper, of course, has not left his house. He's sitting around by himself. He don't want to go no. He don't trust nothing. And she hearing his voice, how he's kind of just alone in this. And Aunt Vi then suggests for him to come stay with her, since Hollywood is gone and everything. And even when she tells him that the mom passed away, it makes him react, because again, his thing is, this is the 5th person that I've lost in this time frame. And she had to kind of encourage him, like, we're gonna get through this. It's okay. Like, we can make it through this. So I feel like it's hard for them all being in 3 different places, like for Hollywood being gone, she by herself, and also Prosper. But I like how in one way they all are trying to work it out together. And even her knowing Prosper just don't want to die. Prosper's scared he's going to catch it and die. And she can feel that. And she's trying to make sure that he knows, even if you do die, you're not going to die in your house. You're going to be here with me. We're gonna be together in your death. And I like that. So what do y'all think?
I'm glad that she reached out to Prosper. That made me so happy to see him actually get some human interaction. And even him being afraid to walk outside on the property where he lived and nobody else is there. I was like, damn, I was the same way. I didn't even want to go on walks. Like, it's crazy to think about how much we really didn't know about the virus and how everybody was kind of shook. And it's even more interesting to see it from an older person's perspective. So yeah, that whole thing is bad because I know people who have passed from COVID. So going back to thinking about how Hollywood had to deal with that, I was like, wow, that's I hate seeing it replay on TV, but I will say Queen Sugar is doing a really good job with the storyline, and I think they're going to tie it up real pretty for us. So this is a COVID storyline that I can stick with.
Yeah, I really hate that, that happened with his mom. And his mom is like, I kind of wish he was not alone. I wish Vi would have been able to go up there, but it was like very touchy because she's older, I think she was like close in age with his mom. So it's kind of like something could happen to her, she could risk, like he said, going up there and catching it. So I just really hated to see him, be by himself. Men always feel like they tough and they got it, but I really wish he was there. Somebody was there with him as he was going through that, because I don't know how he's going to respond now that his mom has passed and he was doing everything alone. I don't know how long he's going to be up there or what that dynamic is going to be or do to their relationship, moving forward. And I think it was great that Vi reached out to Prosper, but I honestly feel like her reaching out to Prosper was more so for herself than it was for Prosper being alone. I think that she was alone, he's away, and I think she kind of got a little nervous herself. So and since Hollywood wasn't there, she needed somebody there. So it only made sense for her and Prosper to be there together.
I feel the same way. I felt so bad for Hollywood. Like that cry he let out really broke my heart. I hope it doesn't affect their relationship, but I am worried about who might pass on the cast. Like, I am worried that Prosper might die. I'm worried Vi might die. I ain't even gonna lie. We got a whole nother season after this. So hopefully none of our main cast. But it has me worried because, you just never know with Queen Sugar. They love to stab you in the chest and break your heart and shit. But, yeah, outside of that, y'all said everything that I had to say. I really like Prosper. Something about him.
I'm thinking it's definitely gonna be somebody at the when I saw Ralph, well, you're gonna get into that, but I'm thinking it's definitely gonna be somebody at the nursing home. I was like, damn, he do work in a nursing home, so it's gonna hit hard.
Ever since they killed his daddy off in season 1, I don't trust nothing. Like since that, I'm like, you can't trust it because I'm like, oh y'all killed Glenn Turner. What? So I always feel like I'm waiting for a main person to die because I don't think any other main character has died at all. And this is somebody gonna die this season, y'all. I don't like it.
Okay.
There aren't many people who know Glenn Turman's name like I do. That's Glenn Turman, boy.
I've loved him ever since I saw him in JLeesCorner Revenge, an old movie that I love. He played a pimp back in. He was a possessed pimp, and it was just, if you've never seen, it's called JLeesCorner Revenge. It's like 70s or whatever. I first saw him in that, and I'm like, okay, I seen that before A Different World, and it's
I first.
See, that was after. And it was on TV one night at my boyfriend house. I'm looking like, what is this? But it's such a blaxploitation type of movie where he's this possessed pimp. But it's you would watch it high because it's funny if you high. So yeah, it's amazing. I heard. I don't know. I heard.
What movie is it?
It's called JLeesCorner Revenge.
Let me see it on Amazon Prime because that sounds like something that's on Brown Sugar.
It's so good. It's crazy.
Glenn Turman for me. Have y'all ever seen The Inkwell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, y'all! Please.
You haven't seen The Inkwell, Niecy?
Seen it, girl.
Go watch it.
Gotta see. Like everybody in it. Morris Chestnut, Jada Pinkett, Lil
Lorenz Tate.
Okay, your girl Daddy from Scandal. All right, Olivia Pope Daddy, him, the mama from Parenthood, everybody and their mama is in this movie.
It's a good movie.
Beautiful, like Black people living on the beach.
It's having fun in the summer.
Mm-hmm. in the 70s with a good jade candy.
She like, oh yeah.
In the
The next scene we have Charlie and Micah. Charlie and Micah sitting around chit-chatting. Okay, just talking about whatever, because again, he back in college. And he brings up how she never really talked about her time being pregnant with him in college. I did not even realize that she got pregnant with him in college, but she did. But she just talks about how, she does not talk about it too much because it was a long time ago. She also brings up how she remembers when they did not have money and she was a mom or whatever, and how it was a bit different, and how she thought having more money was soft thing, but she now knows that's not always true. And as they're talking, she brings up how people thought she messed up getting pregnant. Her daddy was not really mad at her. He was still proud of her. But again, she just felt like she had to prove everybody wrong because she got pregnant in college. She brings up how he was always the thing that she used as her, fix it, or it was her energy to do better in life. And so he was always what got her through the hard times. Now later on the house, they sit around working or whatever, and Michael's phone goes off after he walked out the room. And so when she picks it up, and the audio text play, and it's the girl he's talking to invite him to a party. So now she's upset because again, she does not want him going out, hanging out with people, because again, it's COVID. You're not supposed to go out and party during COVID. And she's upset about that. He's pissed because again, she read his text or whatever. And they're kind of going back and forth. And then she like, who is this girl? Like, who is this girl? And he's like, the girl name's Amber. And she was like, are you getting a white girl? And I was like, oh, damn it, Charlie. And it was a valid question, but it was kind of crazy, whatever. And he's like, Mom, why would you feel that way or whatever? And she feel like, okay, are you out here, having unprotected sex or whatever? You are just like your father. And when she said that made him upset, because it's as if she connected, him wanting to hang out, him with a white girl or whatever, being like Davis was. So when he leaves, because he's mad or whatever. So later on, they do come back and they chat at the house, and she tells him about when her and Davis had their first fight when he was about 3 months old, and how she felt as if Davis was not doing enough, even though he was trying to make it playing football, playing basketball. And because she felt like he wasn't doing enough, she put him out. She stopped talking to him for like 2 semesters. And she brings up how he kept trying to come back and fix it, but she did not let it happen. She felt as if I couldn't be a single mom. And it wasn't until she apologized to Davis about that they got back together. And so she then said sorry to Micah, because I should not have spoke to you like that. You know what I'm saying? I do not think of you in that way, but I'm sorry that I'm struggling to see you as a man and not my baby boy. And when she explained the reason she's talking to, she explains why she keeps overreacting, because she feels as if you my baby and I'm not giving that you are a man now. But he's like, Mama, I understand. It's okay. I love you anyway. I like the fight and the makeup of it all, and even the understanding of why she felt that way. But I still feel like something else is bubbling under the surface with him. I just don't know what. Because there's a lot not being said, even though they both have now expressed themselves. It's still something that's missing. And I know that other shoe gonna drop eventually. So what y'all think?
I agree.
I think I was just going to say, I think it was interesting for her to ask or question him about whether he's dating a white girl. He came onto the show dating a white girl. So I don't know what the purpose of that was about. You're dating a white girl? Yeah, just because he's just not learning about his black side or whatever. Like, that don't, like, what was the question about that? As far as them sitting down at the table, I feel like she should have apologized for the comment she made about relating him to his dad. But I don't feel like she should have apologized for checking him about wanting to go to a party when, if he gets the virus, he's going to be likely infecting his mom if he comes into the home. So I didn't really understand that part, but I do agree that we are probably going to be waiting on that other shoe to drop, because something else could definitely be under the surface. But I wasn't really clear, probably because I didn't see the episode before, of what she was actually searching for. Well, she's still trying to take down the Landrys, right? So maybe that's what the documents were for.
Yeah, I think it was to go at Parker.
Right. I want to say this though. I think it's the racism aspect. I think that She feels like I don't need another thing to have to worry about with you.
Oh.
Being a white girl, that's like an extra level of me having to be worried about you. It's already racial tension. And you know what I'm saying? I don't need you possibly dating some white girl whose daddy doesn't want her to date some black man, and you know, they string you up from hung yourself. Like very much a possibility. And I think that's more so where she's coming from, just because we are in this climate. I think that's where it was, because she's biracial. And you know, like you said, he dated white girls. Yeah. That's the lifestyle that they lived before. But I really do think it's from a place of, we're in Louisiana, it's Black Lives Matter. White people is out with all of that. Like, time for you to go and read more by fucking some white girl.
I think to her, she thought that if he was with a white girl, he would have lost all the values that he had just recently built up whenever they moved. So I think that's when she was like, wow, like you really losing yourself now, because you went through this phase of where you didn't really know your black side. Then you moved, you was down for the cause, down for the people, you felt in tune with your blackness. And now for you to go and mess around with white girls, she like, damn, you really don't give a fuck. You really just trying to be out here with anybody. So I think that was also her concern, along with the Black Lives Matter timing. But yeah, I was super annoyed that Micah was trying to, I don't know, bad children just make me so upset on TV. Like, I don't care if you're 20 years old, you can't even go buy no alcohol. Like, boy, he was like, just don't talk to me like I'm a child. I'm like,
you are a child.
You are a child.
Living at home while you
for free.
Bills.
That's what I'm saying. You live at home for free, and you go out for a ride to go to a party and potentially, you know, bring back the virus. I'm like, you don't understand the seriousness. So
yeah. You get to get checked, but just not like that, because you know, Micah isn't necessarily like his dad, even though that is like his dad, for you to go and put us in jeopardy for some cash. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But that also makes me want to know, what are the damn details between him and Kiki?
I think it has to do with
saying nothing.
I think it has to do with him being in that frat. I honestly think he's having like another identity phase. He had his first identity phase when they first moved there. Now, since he done joined this frat, he's like, okay, so now I'm like that nigga. Now I can get any type of girl that want to throw it at me. So I think he's going through another one of them phases.
All right.
Because he have changed over, like every season he is like a different person a little bit, to where it's like, okay, who are you? And so it was weird to have him be like this, I want to be about the cause, but then you dating a white girl?
Right.
That is weird, because it's like you, and how you go from a Kiki to an Amber? I don't even sound right. It's just weird. So I think it's something else that he's not saying yet, and that's what Andy feels, but she don't know how to ask him, like, what else you got going on? Because in the end, when you're like, okay, now we can kind of sit down together and work on this case, and I can help you. It's like, why you want to help her now? Like, what are you hoping that she doesn't find out? So let me not befriend her, but let me get closer to my mom so she doesn't feel like something is up.
No.
We then see our husband, Ralph Angel, who I just think he's so handsome.
How polite you said R.
He's so cute. But we see, you know, Ralph Angel's getting ready for work, talking to Darla, talking to Blue. And we see Darla is kind of, you know, she's cleaning furniture, she's making clothes, she's doing all these things around the house because, again, she's not working. We then see that Darla is overwhelmed. She is overwhelmed with having to be at home, taking care of Blue, being a whole house mom, because Blue, you know, he don't want to sit down. He's too smart to be bored or whatever. She's always having to keep him entertained. And when Ralph gets home, honey, and she all upset and she all sad and going through, he like, you know, come on down here. And the fact that she just kind of jumped, I'm like, she jumped in his lap. I'm like, first of all, get off my husband. But it was a good thing to see him like know how to calm her down, because I think you need that when someone is a former addict. You have to know how to calm them down to where they don't have to go use. And him seeing her be angry and not angry, being frustrated, and him like, you know, calm down, you know, it'll be fine. Like, just don't worry about this or that. Like, just leave it alone or whatever. Now at the nursing home, we do see him. Right. We do see him befriending a member or a resident of the nurse home, a guy, I think what his name is. And the guy's kind of like, he having a hard time because his birthday coming up. His wife ain't there. He's sad because he misses his wife. And, he brings up how, in life you do all these things, you buy all these things, but at the end of the day, all you really want is to enjoy it with someone. And he don't have that right now. And Rob then comes back that day with a surprise for old dude because he comes back and he brings the guy his wife, and he has the wife outside the window. So the guy's very, very happy. So it was a good thing to see Ralph, one, connect to someone older who I think could be like a father figure or whatever, but also want to bring some joy into the man's life. But when he gets home, it's like he in the kitchen looking all chocolatey, okay, with the moonlight on them, okay. I'm like, come on now, shots of it all, and he's in the kitchen, and he's just talking. He's talking to his dad like this, like I know, that you see me, I know that you hear me, and I hope I make you proud. I love you too, and to see him like feel his father's presence and what he doing at work, being a family man coming home. I loved this shot because it's like, when you feel the presence of someone, you're supposed to take it in. And like he walked in, he took it in. He just stopped in his tracks and had that conversation. Then he goes in the back and he just lays in Darla's lap. And it's like he kind of just exhaled into her. She's like, what's wrong? And he's like, you know what? I just, you're my soulmate. You know what I'm saying? She's like, always and forever, always will be. He like, I just don't want, I don't want to wait on a fancy wedding, you know what I'm saying, because the world falling apart and time ain't promised. So I don't want to wait for perfect. I want to win in life, and I can't do that without you. Okay, so I want to get married ASAP. And they hug and kiss, and she's like, let's do it tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, okay, our husband getting married, but it's fine. I do love Ralph and Darla. Only because, to me, they are an example of what happens when two broken people build each other up separately and together, because they both had to fix themselves apart. A lot of their healing didn't come to them as a couple. And sometimes you don't want to depend on someone else to be your happy moment because they're not there. You're not happy no more. And so what I love about them is they both found their own happiness separately, but then knew they wanted to be together. And that's why I root for them so much. And I think when we see them, their chemistry works because they know there are people in life who could be an ex-con and an old drug addict. And they want them to see, like, you can find happiness if you do the work. And I love them together. So again, that's my opinion.
So I've already told Lyric that if I run into Kofi, don't feel no way.
he gotta get over it. It's Kofi.
If I run, and I say specifically Kofi, I didn't say Ralph Angel. I said if I run into Kofi, you're gonna have to take this L. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, because oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, like, it's not just right, the moonlight reflection, the skin, like, bitch, I'm listen, the chocolatey goodness of it all, bitch. Like, oh my God. Anyway, then the white of it all, then the beard of it all, bitch. Like, and then did y'all see the Doja Cat video?
I haven't watched it yet. I've seen a clip of it, but I don't. Is it good though?
Please go, please, bitch. After we done, go and
watch it.
Okay, go in. There's a moment in the video where he had like a full like diamond grill in his mouth. And he kind of makes a, like a biting kind of gesture so you could see the grill. And I was just like, like, just looking for something to touch. Oh my God, hold on.
He's a specimen.
Besides that, I'm gonna say that seeing him in this capacity where he's the supportive one, he's the one that has his emotions under control. He's the one that is the stability for Darla, even though we've seen pieces of that throughout their relationship. Like, he was the one that, go get you out the crack house and shit. But this, like this moment where he is the support system for her in so many ways, like being calm, throughout everything. You know what I'm saying? Even when he goes to his job, like all of that shit is so attractive. I'm just
grown man.
Like
he grown man.
It's the truth of the matter. Like him growing into that, especially from the juxtaposition between what we saw when we first saw him, even like a season ago. You know what I'm saying? Finding out that Blue wasn't biologically his kid and all of that shit. Like Ralph Angel has grown up immensely, and it's attractive.
You see that, Bonnie?
What it say? When Darla to turn around, know what to do was with it. Bitch, but I know what to do.
Yeah, that's all I got from Kofi. Kofi is a man, all caps. Like, I mean, I just don't understand how he can be so chill throughout this whole thing. And even whenever he like picked Darla up and held her, it was like, I got you. Then they showed like Blue in the background. I was like, he is the man of that house. And I really like that they're showing them go through this pandemic, but him hold everybody down. They just switch dynamics, like we got to do what we got to do, and they just went into it. So I like seeing Kofi. Kofi could be doing anything. I like seeing Kofi.
I know, right?
Ask somebody get into Kofi's cloud, please. There has to be one in there somewhere.
Look, if that leak, I just deleted the Trey Songz video off my phone because I recorded it. I just deleted it like 2 days ago. So I'm like, let me get this out in case it posts accident. I'm like, yeah, but if Kofi has a leak, we need to see it.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at with it at this
point. I think I kind of have like I don't want to say a sad perspective, but now it makes me wonder. So I think it's great. He has a job and stuff. He was able to get the older guy to be able to see his wife, which made him think about his own woman and how he wants to move forward and getting married and stuff like that. So it makes me wonder, how often does Ralph Angel get the good end of the stick? And when we talk about somebody actually passing or leaving the show, makes me wonder, could that person possibly be Darla? Like, could they possibly go off and get married and she end up catching COVID and eventually passes away? Like, it just makes me wonder. It like, because I will hope that does not happen. I want to see them, move forward. However, it just made me think when JB was breaking down the story and the conversations, I started thinking, like, based on the conversation they were having and he was talking to her, it's like, yo, he never always gets the good end of the stick. So what a turning point would that be, that everybody's expecting the elders to be the ones to pass, when in actuality it could end up being somebody you least expect, which could potentially
if Ava DuVernay kills Darla.
And I want to say that because
that'd be horrible. But it's plausible. That's the bad part. That can really happen, and I didn't think about it until just now.
Because she didn't turn her life. It's always the ones who be messed up. Then they turn their life around. They just gotta get right so they can get to God, and then that's right.
Oh God!
And then another thing, like I don't know what happened with Ralph Angel and his mom, or his dad and primarily, his dad and his mom. But knowing that he had this conversation with his dad, it also made me think, like, he also lost his mom at a young age. So could that possibly happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a foreshadowing for Blue? Like, it's just me thinking like too deep into the situation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, is Darla gonna make it at the end of the season? Like, but keep in mind, y'all, I just was going off the deep end. I was just too deep in the ocean with my thoughts.
They can kill Davis.
I hope I'm wrong.
Let's remember this. Let's remember
they can kill Davis off. Like, let Davis die.
I was watching Roxanne for Delilah early, and Roxanne, like, I saw, the preview of them getting married, and she was like, I hope that JJ don't come out and try to take a picture, and then Darla trip, and then she be in a wheelchair for the rest of that shit dying laughing like, oh my God. But she was like, because I see it like good times, like never, all the way good. So it did put me in a time frame that something happened, Jamie, but I didn't think that they would kill Darla off. go nowhere. Don't got no job, bitch. Where you stay your ass on the farm, bitch? How you don't go nowhere? Oh my God, that's gonna bother me if Darla.
I know now.
And the
But
same
you know
thing with
what?
her too, right? See, every time she tries to do right, something happens too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it
I
just
feel
makes me
like
wonder if they really are gonna have their happily ever after.
They can spare Darla and Ralph Angel.
We in the pan.
But no, because think about this. Hollywood lost his mama. So Hollywood and Vi gonna be sad. Okay. I think, Michael broke up with Kiki, so he should be sad. Nova over there dealing with the damn white daughter, so they may have some issues too. Let Ralph and Darla be the goodness of it all. Let them ride off in the sunset, be happy, and the other family beefing, and then let the bad part for Ralph and Darla be,
they
they lose the farm. No, let them get married. Like let the farm. Let
everybody's version of heaven though. Like I don't know if y'all noticed that, but like it's a lot of sunny, like light, beautiful, colorful, like just real airy moments. Like whether they sitting out on a porch or Darla's in the kitchen, like just all this sunlight,
all this light,
and it does give a feel, ominous.
Like somebody died and they in a dream, and it all looks so nice, but it's not truly happening.
I hate y'all. Why y'all making us go there?
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Sorry, y'all.
Next week we got to be sure that next week we just breathe it. We got to breathe it. As long as they get married, I'm happy, because at least that's a happy moment. And the show can't keep being sad. You didn't kill the daddy off. The mama died at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Davis was out here cheating. Like, somebody has to win. You can't give us all bad. If they keep giving us all bad, I don't want to keep watching. Well, I'll keep watching like the show. But I feel like, give us some goodness and let that be Darla and Ralph Angel. Because if not, I'm going crazy.
That's what it felt like when we first started the season, that it was going to be coming from a standpoint of Darla and Ralph Angel being the light point throughout all of the other dark shit.
Because they've had darkness since the beginning of the season. This is the first season where neither. Look at me. Oh, that's. I mean, I don't know if it's his age, if it's his aura, but something about that man.
Beard, facial features, teeth.
He's a specimen. Girl, let's move on. We say some stuff.
Screenshot from the video, like the beard, like ugh.
All in their boobs.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch when we get off here immediately.
Y'all ain't even doing that.
Because it's good. So we can get on to Sistas, which was season 2, episode 19. Someone put a timestamp in because they're like, where's the timestamp? Just watch the goddamn video. So what saw? Where's my pictures? Because I have some. First up we have Andy. Okay, gonna start with Andy and her foolishness. So Andy is at her house. She at her house and she's literally trying on this ring that Gary gave her. Because she's all happy or whatever. But we also see the doorman comes and brings flowers from Gary, but she doesn't want them. And he suggests, well, if you don't want him to be able to visit you or to bring you flowers, like, why not take him off of your list? And she like, about your business. I'm like, but bitch, that's true. If you don't want it, just say I don't want it and leave it at that. But she still wants that man. So with the ring on her finger, she's trying to get it off. The ring will not come off. It is stuck. She can't, nothing is not coming off. Not with soap, body wash, nothing. And so when she calls the ring company that's on the box, they tell her that the ring is a special made ring. When you put it on your finger, it instantly tightens around your finger and it will not come off. Okay, the person who bought it made it that way, which means Gary tricked you and gave you a ring that you could not take off your finger. Okay, he then say the only way to get it off is because the husband has a key. The husband has a key on his ring that unlocks your ring to make you be able to take it off. So on her way to work, she calls Gary about it, and he says, oh, well, I didn't think that you will put it on until I put on your finger. So that's why I not tell you I bought you a trickery ring to be stuck on your finger. And so he's going to bring the ring down to her job because he can't come in. He can't come in. So he's going to try to meet Fatima downstairs. Now, when she gets to the parking lot, who does Andy run into but none other than crazy ass Jasmine, the wife who I thought was dead, but I guess she did not die. I thought she was dead. Gary's crazy ass ex-wife and two of her friends are there to beat Andy up in the parking lot of her law firm job. Tyler, 1, Andy's dumb. 2, Andy's dumb. 3, Andy's dumb. Now, Gary is also an asshole to get her a trick ring, even if you feel like she won't put it on until you put it on her. At least say, don't put it on, because if you do, you can't get it off. You can at least told her that when you left her with the ring. And then he was like, you can't leave it on. No, I can't leave it on. Like he does, even when he's not with her, he's still tricking her and bamboozling her. And she's being hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. But she likes it. So it was what it was. What do y'all think about Andy's dumbass?
I hope she gets her ass whipped. I can't wait. I hope they beat her into the pavement. That's it.
Me too. I was so happy when she got slapped. I ain't gonna lie. I was so happy she got slapped. I was like, yes, slap her again because she's that stupid. And I think Gary knows Andy better than Andy knew herself. So this whole, I thought you were going to put the ring on once I put it on you. No, he knew. That's why he left it with you. Duh. Yeah. And I was kind of glad, like, that's what you get. You got this ring on your finger. Now you can't get it off. That's what you get. And it's just, I mean, it is kind of terrible that she can't get it off without her husband's ring. But I would hope his ring would be the same way. If he put it on, he couldn't get it off without the wife's ring, since it's a forever ring or whatever. But I am so tired of Andy playing these games with this man. It's like, I don't like him. Let's be clear. I can't stand him. I don't like Gary. However, it's like, stop playing with this man. Like, 1 minute you want him, 1 minute you don't. 1 minute you, like, girl, you already about to ruin your friendships over him. So you might as well just go over there anyway. You putting yourself through more heartache. And then I can't go to work with this ring on. I can't. Then don't. You act like you can't call out to this man, come get the ring off your finger. So I am just tired of Miss Andy. I mean, I've been tired of her since the very first season, very first episode. But I'm excited to see her get her tail whooped next week. And I pray Fatima is not there to pull up to help her out. I pray Fatima is not.
Because
you know she about that action.
She probably will be. I like Fatima, but I was looking, I'm like, customer service really don't got to solve for this. Y'all don't have no keys to just say, here. But, yes, I'm like, y'all don't have any keys. Well, ma'am, the groom has the key. And I'm like, it's something you can do.
What if he got dead and his finger cut off? What happens?
Well, did they say the groom needed a key or you needed the groom's ring?
Yeah, his ring is the key.
His ring is the key.
Oh, his ring is the key.
Like it's a metaphor for him choking, for him her until she damn near died. Now you got a ring on that squeezing your finger, like
yeah.
So yeah, she's dumb, and that just further proved like if she was trying to act like he wasn't crazy anymore. He gave me the number to his therapist, but that ring he gave you is definitely something that a psychopath would give you. So
for sure. And he's been giving her psychopathic behavior for a minute.
What's that name? I mean, you need to say.
I was like, wait. And one thing we didn't talk about was the luggage dude. He was trying to shoot his shot again. He's gonna be there in the backcourt waiting.
And his daddy owned the building. He's not even a regular, he's like a rich person doing whatever. So I wouldn't mind. But Andy don't do right by anyone better than Gary that comes on to her. She keeps holding on to him for no reason. I don't know why. But I feel like even when the wife walked up, she's like, what are you here for? To beat your ass. Like, even her dumbness and stopping to talk to the crazy ex-wife who set his car on fire. Like, not only is Gary crazy, so is the Jasmine. They both are nutty. flocking together. And I'm like, why even entertain? Like, if you walk, look, help, I need security because you know she crazy. Andy made this like craziness. And she just deals with it.
I was here for what Danny said. She gonna have to figure this shit out for herself with her dumb ass. Let her get strangled to death again up in a fucking hospital and see how she feel. Ain't nobody about to keep babysitting and arguing with no grown woman about being with no crazy ass nigga that damn near killed you. Oh, you got the numbers of his therapist? Oh, okay. You need a session too.
We then see Zach and Fatima who are still in bed. Okay, look. Zach and Fatima, I gotta show body.
No, that's a new relationship, honey.
Zach and fucking like newlywed. I'm like, it was they in the bed, hair all. I'm like, look, the sweat glands all up and through. I'm like, look, and they said they're talking, you know, after coming and stuff. And you know, she rings how, you know, we just in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? We just fit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all so nasty. Now they both up.
Know what that mean? That mean they grind game go together instead of
like don't say nothing. It works.
Good, because sometimes you be trying to rhythm off people and it don't work.
And it works. Yeah. And they both bring up how they haven't felt it before and how they just want to talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she keeps telling him that he has to believe people when they tell him the truth, because she's saying to him, like, you know, I got you, whatever. He still don't really believe her. And when he brings up how Karen, like, no, don't, no ex talk, I'm not her. Like, you have to get, I am not that girl, leave it be or whatever. And then we asked, like, well, are we getting serious? I ain't saying that now. Now, I do wish she would stop acting like she don't want to be with him because how she really is or whatever. But I like how she let him know, like, I don't know yet. So just like wait it out. But she's like, you know, don't you do it because I want you to know that I have not felt this good in a long time. Now later on, he talks to Danny. Now he's still mad because Karen got him arrested. So he's telling, like, Danny, I was arrested. I didn't do shit. I get if we not together and she don't be back with me, but she can't be out here trying to run my life. And that's what she's trying to do. And I am okay moving on from her. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to her. I do not want to talk to her. And I did not like how Danny was like, you know, well, maybe y'all should talk. No. Once you have me arrested, we don't need to talk. And I think Danny gets that he's moved on, but she also, for some reason, wants him and Karen to talk. I don't know why, if I'm leaving it alone. And she does call Karen, like, you know, Zach's out. He's pissed or whatever. And I still don't think that he did it. And she asked Karen, did you ever even see the signature on file with them saying Zach did it? And the fact that Karen keeps saying, well, I don't need to, look like, no, bitch, anyone can sign someone's name. And to me, I feel like we are seeing that we know Zach didn't do it. And I can't wait for them to say who did. I'm here for Zach. One, still want to be with Fatima. But two, making sure that Danny, you know, like, I don't want Karen leave me fuck alone. And I can't wait for Karen for her to just feel like shit, basically.
With all of that, I wanted to say I'm tired of Zach crying. Because I feel like every time you turn around, Zach is crying to Danny or, you know, having a bitch fit to Fatima. And it's like, when you gonna start handling shit like a grown ass man? Crying all the time.
Yeah, I like Zach and Fatima. I really want them, I guess it's Fatima to get over herself or whatever. I want them to make this thing official. Y'all dang near official already. Like, don't he got a key to her place? He's always over there. You helped him get this job. You done bailed him out and stuff. Girl, you already there. So I don't know, and I don't know enough of Fatima's story for sure to know why she has this blockage up and doesn't want to make it 100% official. But I hope we get there very soon. As it pertains to Zach running up behind Danny, I'm so used to Danny running up behind him. I felt the way about him giving her information. Like, Karen got you locked up. Karen didn't help you get out, and neither did Danny help you get out. So why are you running back, having a conversation with her, trying to convince her that you didn't sit? Like, you don't have to have that conversation. You just work with the person that helped you out so you can figure this situation out and move on. I didn't like that at all. Like, why you keep running up, having these conversations? Like, how is Danny hasn't helped you at all? If Danny could have helped you, she would have prevented the girl from turning the paperwork in to begin with. So why are you going back having these conversations only for Danny to plug and find certain information so she can run it back to Karen? Anyway, any little thing that she do get, and I don't want them to get back together at all. So just stop talking to Danny about stuff, because that once you really move on, Danny your friend, but Danny ain't your friend for real. So just stop.
That's Karen.
Yeah, y'all said everything I was thinking. I'm here for Zach and Fatima.
They needed a sex scene.
I thought we were gonna get one again. Whenever she was like, she was like, "Don't get my hair wet." I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get it again."
I know. Shower scene. I was like, "Come on, we'll see it all." We see a short scene of the girls talking with Karen, telling them that that Andy is back with Gary, that he has also proposed. And for the most part, Sabrina, oh my God, we have to go over there right now. When Sabrina said we have to go to her job and confront her, I say, bitch, don't come to my job with the bullshit of my private life. Don't do that. I was so pissed that she said that. And I like how Danny was like, look, I tried to say all this shit in the back, but y'all told me to be quiet. But again, let Andy do what she wants to do. When she's ready, she'll come talk to us. Danny always has the most logical advice when she being serious. I like that. Even when she told them, look, I'm going to go with y'all over there because y'all want to talk to a brick wall, because she like, Andy not going to listen right now. So we can want the best for her. She ain't listen. Like, let her fuck around, get fucked over. And then when she hits rock bottom, she will come to us. Would y'all want y'all friend? Don't come to my job, bitch. Don't do that. I hate when anybody call me at work about personal shit. I'm like, bitch, call me at 7:30. Don't call me at 2 p.m. Don't do that.
I felt like Sabrina was overreacting again, and it's aggravating that she does that, especially because she shuts down the common sense that Danny comes into the room with. Why are you shutting down when Danny was saying this shit from the beginning about how Andy was acting when y'all were at the bank? You were shutting her down. Now you want to go over and confront her. You don't want to, be calm and be quiet about it and not say anything. Like, Sabrina works on my fucking nerves. In all honesty, she annoys me damn near just as much as Andy does. Okay? That's all I got to say about it.
I thought this scene was terrible, in my opinion. I feel like it was just a big old scene of improv. Nobody knowing where to go with the conversation. A bunch of, I don't know. What should we do? I don't know what we should do. We should do something. I don't know. I was so tired of hearing I do cat. Okay, it was terrible. And I was like, shout out to Danny for bringing it on home, because Tyler just let the cameras roll and it was like action, and they didn't know what the hell to do. And it was just, I don't know. I'm like, y'all gotta know something. We should go to her job right now. And it's like, in real life, is we finna do this? No, we probably gonna be at your house soon as you get off though. Just like what Karen did when she tried to link up with Andy, and Andy said no. She was at their house though. So y'all could have did that. Why would y'all go to her job that really didn't add up? And it was a bunch of I don't know. But I love how Danny pretty much told him the same thing that old boy already told Karen. You got to let her do her thing. Sometimes you just got to step back. If you've been giving the same repetitive advice to your friends over and over and they're not listening, sometimes you just got to sit back and listen and watch and let her do her thing. Because Andy is telling y'all what she's going to do. She's willing to throw away her own friendship with Karen, amongst she already ain't that close with the other ladies anyway. So, I mean, just let her do what she going to do. And I promise she going to figure it out. And after she got this slap, and she probably going to figure it out sooner after that. But hopefully, I don't know, because she's been done for a few seasons. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm glad that Danny agreed with the same thing that Karen had already heard from, what's the dude name who she messed around with?
Preston.
Gary?
The pastor.
The white dude?
Oh, Aaron.
Aaron was the one that told her that you kind of got to back off and let them learn on their own. And whenever I heard Danny say that, I was like, thank God somebody is telling her that, because like, if somebody had called me into that situation talking about my friend, I'd have been like, you wasted my gas, my time. You didn't have me all hyped up just to come and tell me this bullshit that we already knew she was going to be doing. So, yeah, I'm glad they seen that. And Jamie, I'm glad that you called out that this felt like an improv moment, because after Danny said what she had to say, I stopped listening.
Because it was like, okay, go home. Like we go to work, but yeah, go to work. The last scene that we see is near the foolishness. So Maurice and Dark Chocolate Q, are talking because again, Dark Chocolate and came out the room naked and high, okay, and he was fully flirting with Maurice. I'm looking like, what is going on here? I'm confused because we never see Calvin. We only see Dark Chocolate Q, and he brings about he's a stripper, how he just met Maurice, how he does meth from time to time, to make him feel free. I said, oh, okay. And when Maurice said, let me see your teeth, I was like, why are we having this meth checking moment? I don't know. But he said, I'm going to go back in the room and fuck some more. So the following morning, they talk or whatever. And again, he finds out he did not even know Calvin's name. And he like, oh, so Calvin's a slut. And then he brings up how he's going to come back later on because he don't have his own house. He lived with his mom. He's between jobs. And he had to come back again to bang old boy out. Now, he like, bro, get out. He leaves. And Maurice only knocks on Calvin's door to say we're going to talk when we get back home. He does not go in the room. Now, at the bank, okay, at the bank, we have Maurice, we have Jacoby, we have Sabrina. Calvin comes and eventually leaves. At the bank, Jacoby is still, I guess, trying to befriend Maurice and keeps calling him a bitch. I was like, that scene was cringeworthy because I get he was trying to be friendly to the gay men and say, bitch. I was like, I'm tired of it. But again, Maurice like leave it alone. When Sabrina comes in, Maurice realized something happened between them. But Sabrina makes it clear we did not have sex. I did not want to because the dick too big. Or it looked too big. I didn't want to have all that in me. I'm like, that's nasty. Now at that point in time, she brings up how she still has feelings for Calvin. So Maurice then says, I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing. I didn't see your body face. I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing. Because Calvin was in the room getting deep struck by some man or whatever. And, I think he, and again, did. And so that pisses Sabrina off because, again, why did he not just tell me that he was bisexual or gay? Why does Calvin keep lying to me? So she's pissed. She's pissed. And so she calls Calvin, leaves I don't like you no more. I can't believe you lied to me. Like, well, not tell me that you're gay or bisexual. And she goes off, calls him a weak ass man or whatever. And that she does not want to talk to him again. He then comes into the bank because he got the message. And Maurice is like, so you was fucking last night? Like, I wasn't, what happened? And he's not saying he wasn't there. He just keeps asking about noises from his room or whatever, which made me mad. And then when Sabrina walks up, she's pissed. Calvin's pissed. She's pissed. And no one says, hey, I wasn't fucking up. No one explains what happened. Everyone is mad for no fucking reason. I'm looking like, y'all, Tyler, really, which makes Calvin say, Sabrina, fuck you. I'm done. Okay, leave me alone. But I feel like adults would have said, Maurice, I wasn't at the house last night, which would have then made Sabrina apologize. Because again, I think Calvin should understand if Maurice said, in Calvin's room, two men was having sex. That's what I heard. For him to say, I wasn't there, I let my friend use my room at the house, and I was going to add, like, it was a way to not have all this confusion. And I'm pissed because no adult in the situation said shit to clarify what didn't happen. Calvin has issues with always. Calvin likes being mad about people thinking he's gay because he thinks he's gay. That's what I think. And I think that's why he's always mad that someone else thinks it. I'm like, it's easy to say I wasn't home. That wasn't me. Did you see me, Maurice? No, he did not. So it was frustrating to see this happen again.
Yes.
I think he was home though. I think what I was getting from that in my mind, I don't know why I just assumed that Calvin is working part-time as a stripper and the dude was teaching him dances. Like, that's what I was thinking in my mind. I was like, maybe that's the secret. Maybe there is a secret that he's keeping, and that's why he doesn't correct her. I think he's working part-time as a stripper.
I think it could be. You on mute, Jamie.
Oh, I said that's a good way to look at it. That could be true.
But who made the sex noises? Those were sex noises. Where those come from?
And what about
the meth? What, Bondi?
About the meth? Because he confirmed He confirmed the Met situation. Just tired of Calvin because Calvin went all the way down to the bank to tell Sabrina not to call him anymore when that's exactly what she said to him over the phone. So I was just kind of like, this is another dumbass Tyler Perry scene. This shit's stupid. Why is he coming all the way down here to offer no clarification and say the same shit she said? Nigga, I already told you to talk no more. I already said that. You're not saying nothing new.
And that's exactly what I was thinking when JLee said that there was no reason or something you said about the confusion. Like there should not be any confusion. The whole time, like, this is a Tyler Perry production. This is exactly how this is supposed to go. We are going to be confused, and it's going to take a few episodes before we get to the truth. So I'm definitely here with Bondi. Like we gained absolutely nothing. But what I noticed was Maurice's face kind of looked a little different. And I think he started to be like, maybe it wasn't him in that room. Like that's the face that I captured as Calvin was getting upset and he was about to head out.
Because I think, well, I don't get why Maurice did not at least walk in and look at, like, I'm going to at least open the door. I'm going to at least,
or at least wait for him to come out.
Because how you know he ain't dead? How you know the strange man in your house did not kill your roommate and left and just told you he sleep? Like, I don't get that. And like, it was just weird to me that Maurice, who likes to know stuff and be nosy or whatever, never opened the door to see anything, the whole night. I was up all night listening.
Thank you. Maurice loves to overstep his boundaries, but he didn't open that door to his own home. That
That didn't make any sense to me.
That's Tyler Perry for you. But we watched the show. Why we still watch the show? It's a good show. But when we want something to make sense and it don't, it's so frustrating. It's like, why? That don't make no sense. It's Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. So guess what time is, y'all? It is finally time for Married at First Sight. But please make sure to like the video because you're supposed to. You should. You got to, okay? You have to do this all the time.
Like the video.
This episode of Married at First Sight was long. I think we all struggled to watch it. We was like, oh my God, this is some bullshit. I like the show, but I really wish they can figure out how to not make it be 2 hours for no reason. I think every episode should not be 2. Like, figure out, like, every other episode should be 2, and maybe it should be like an hour and a half and then 2 hours. But I like everyone don't need to be 2 because I was dozing off. We can start with Haley. Now we have awkward ass Jacob and forever boring Haley because I think that's just who they are. She is very boring to me. I feel like they had the same conversation 4 times last night. Each time it's like, do you like me? Are you attracted to me? Would you want to be with me? And she keeps saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And even when her friend asked, like, you see yourself being married to someone and not having an attraction, and she kind of didn't answer something like, did you bored me for no reason? She bought him some new shirts because she said if I can get him in some different clothes, I might like him. But then she was upset that he asked her again, do you like me? Like, you tried to see me. I'm like, it was the same thing over and over. I don't care anymore, even though fussing back and forth about how neither of them, because she left for the night, hung out with Paige. He felt like she should have came home so they could have connected. But I'm like, y'all both fussing about not telling the other one what you want. Y'all both not saying shit, but fussing about it. I'm looking like, why do we keep having this conversation? And when he brings up how he felt like she was not ready to be married, she says she was, but she can't jump and be in love because she's been single for so long. Haley is 28 and was single for 7 years. I feel like someone who has been single since they're 21 should not marry a stranger because you were treated to in life. And so I don't like them anymore. I like Jacob, but a part of me feel like Haley is just looking for a reason to not stay with him. And she don't have to. You can just leave, bitch, and leave them be. And that would be all it was. We're talking about this couple this episode.
I think that it has to be production that keeps having him ask her the question for him to not get a new answer every time. And I think it's very unfortunate that Haley entered this process and wasn't really ready for it, even though she says that she's ready for it. You know, I do think I understand her frustration. Like, you just asked me this a few days ago. It's not going to change just because I bought you some shirts. I get that, but then I feel like she's not even allowing herself to fully be in the moment, or, you know, really go through the process in a sense. I guess all because of his attraction. So she's kind of wishy-washy and stuff, and I am over them. I really am. Like, I mean, we're not learning anything new.
I feel like we keep having the same scene over and over again with it, you know. Oh, it's a struggle. She's attracted to him. He does, you know, he's feeling you know, her shunning him in some type of way. Then they sit down and they talk and they have a good time and they joke a little bit. And then the next episode, it's like, we're not getting along. We're not having time. This shit is too serious. Like, I'm annoyed with them repetitively having the same thing happen over with no growth. I like Jacob. I think that a lot of the time he makes scenarios up in his mind without any real information to tie to it. But I feel like Haley bullshit. I don't really feel like you want to be in a relationship. I don't understand what he was supposed to look like. You're a white woman. He's a white man. He's in good shape. What did you want him to look like? Why are you now not attracted to him when you were attracted to him enough to fuck him? So I just kind of feel like I think Haley is bullshitting about something. And I wish she would just be honest and real instead of always trying to put on or save face or protect her feelings, because ultimately you always end up running. Her going to Paige's room and spending all that time with Paige, like, don't for him, that was for you, so you wouldn't have to deal with the ramifications again after all of this time that you still not attracted to him. So I'm over them.
I think Haley is forcing. Haley, like JLee said, was not ready for this, but I feel like she signed up feeling like she could force herself to get ready if the opportunity presented itself. So what we're seeing is Haley going through these moments of forcing herself into actually being involved in the relationship and then retreating back to how she actually is and how she wants to be. So that's why we keep getting all this back and forth. But the other thing that I saw from a scene that I want to call out is whenever the production threw in that video of her in Paige's room, they're joking around saying maybe we're each other's perfect match. So Haley is trying to save face on camera for us. So as a viewer, it's hard to even determine like what is going on with Haley, because it's clear that she's having conversations with Paige that she's not talking about on camera. She wants to tell Pastor Cal she's not physical. That's not the case. That's not the case. It's something going on that you're not explaining to the camera. Maybe it's something about Jacob and you don't want to further embarrass him, but it's just really hard to figure out. And I feel like it's just annoying to watch them.
Very annoying. Ryan and Clara. So they're boring. They gave us nothing. You know, tight ass Ryan, I want to dick Clara because she does want the dick and he would not give it to her. And I feel like the whole episode, they were just, they went to like a little crafting place or whatever, doing some arts and crafts, and she feel like he doesn't really want to connect with her because she won't be able to put her craft stuff in the house. We didn't see them later on go and talk because the experts sent questions to each couple, and they had to kind of talk about love and what it means to them. Ryan's like, you know what, I don't know, because he wants, I've never told someone I love them. I don't like how he can't answer questions with words. Like, I don't know why I don't know what that is. Clara Brown was about how she needs to feel heard. She wants to feel like what she says sticks in his mind, like remembering that she doesn't like onions. And she wants him to do things for her because he wants to do them, but not because she wants him to do them. And that's what takes for her to fall in love. Ryan brings up how he does not trust people easily, even though he's friendly. He says, so for me to feel comfortable enough to love someone, I would take time. It would take time and patience for a person to get to know me. I'm looking like Ryan. That sounds dumb. That's just dating. It's just he irks my fucking nerves. When they go to have like donuts or whatever, and she's trying to have her donuts, he's asking her what her motivation is in life, and I feel like he think she isn't motivated in life, and because that be a reason he doesn't like her, because it did seem as if sitting there he was a motivational speaker. It did seem that way. It didn't even seem like a date with your wife. It seemed like a date with a client who wants to hire you to impress people or whatever, and that's how he was talking. Something about Ryan screams, I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want him to go away. And something about Clara screams, I know he don't want to be here, but I don't have a choice. I don't like them together. That's it.
So I want to jump in first because I made in their conversation when he was giving her this motivational speech, something about what he was saying, I felt like he was saying, I am motivated by not fitting into a box as a Black man. I am motivated to not be, just a stereotypical Black person. I think that is why he creates a separation between what we perceive as Blackness and himself. You're straightening your hair, you want to be with white girls, doing your little tight butt, probably mostly white friends and shit like that. Like all of his mannerisms so that he could not fit into the stereotypical Black man box. But he doesn't realize that you fit into the stereotypical, I'm trying to not be Black box. You know what I'm saying? But with Clara, that's the thing that like about her, and he doesn't realize it. It's not just that she doesn't have motivation. There's a lack of depth there. And it's because she's a white woman. Like, I'm sorry, but white women have a certain an ability to be able to flow through life, as if there's nothing too big, nothing too serious, nothing too tough. I'm just paying my bills and living my life. And if I fail, get daddy to help me, or I'll get money somewhere else. Not to say that that's every white story, but it definitely feels like Clara's story. So it almost feels like Ryan wanted a white woman, but he wanted a woke white woman. And that is being out of Clara. I think he wanted a deeper, profound connection. I think he wanted them to have Asian shit, and she's that. But I also feel like it's funny because, like, why are you expecting that from? Why are you expecting a certain amount of understanding and a certain amount of her own feelings of not wanting to fit in the boxes? Like, you want her to have some of the same type of strong motivations that you have, but white women in general don't have those motivations. Life is already set up in a way for him. So I think it's a blind sight for him. You know what I'm saying? That he thought he would want to be with somebody like her, and when it falls down to he can't connect.
But I find that hard. I get what you're saying. It makes sense. But being that he surrounds himself with white people, he should be used to that. It's like, how do you connect with the other white people who you hang around with all the time? And Fedora, she in the comments right now, shout out to Fedora. She commented on my video and she said that Ryan and Claire's relationship is based off of fetishes. And I think both of them are not what the other one imagined when they listed what their fetish was. I think Clara wanted somebody who was ambiguous, but she wanted somebody with a little bit of seasoning to him. Ryan is bland as fuck. If she was gonna date Ryan, she could have just dated a regular white dude. Like she that's not what she wanted. And I also feel like Ryan, I think from what we're hearing about Ryan, we're hearing that he's a class clown and all this other stuff. It doesn't match up with what we're seeing on screen. And I think that's because he knows that he's being watched. And I think it has to do with him being a pastor child. So he's holding back on a lot of stuff.
Not really being himself, probably why he's not really wanting to have sex, stuff like that. But even though, like, you're in a position to be able to do all of those things. And if you really felt that strongly about putting up these walls as a pastor's kid, why the fuck would you even come on this show in the first place? Exactly. Like a lot of shit with Ryan that But I really do believe that he wanted like a woke white girl. Like he wanted somebody who, had a deeper, some shit that she didn't went through in her life that made her deeper. And Clara is real surface level. And I do agree that she probably wanted her a Tyrone. And that's not showed up.
Yeah. I'm over Ryan and Clara as well. I feel like Ryan is a my way. I can do this. No, don't do that. I got me. I think that's how he is. I also think that Clara should take these notes and understand that he is not going to conform to who you want him to be for you. He's letting you know in so many words that it's not going to happen. And she is a woman that needs a ton of validation from her man, and he's not at a place where he's going to give that to her. So I think he wanted a woman that was going to come equipped with all of that. And they just not a match. I don't see that happening unless she really changes a lot about herself, and that's going to be a struggle for her. But she might, considering the fact that she wants to be loved. She seems like she wants to be the first woman he ever loves. I can see her trying to change herself a lot. But then why go through that heartache and that stress? Just leave and go find somebody else that matches your fly, But that's what I get from Ryan and Clara. And I'm just, I think they were one of the episodes. They were one of the couples I had to keep rewinding because I just thought I wasn't into it.
Because he was talking, I'm like, I don't know what he's saying. I'm like, I just felt like they were talking to each other but about nothing. I'm like, okay. Because it's crazy.
His facials, I was like, oh, baby, this man is not, he got all that stuff you want. He's not going to do that. You're lucky you got him to go do this pottery thing with you, girl. This man not going to do this stuff.
Eating her feelings.
Yeah.
Eating her feelings down at that table. I was like, what? After biting into two of them things. And she was like, oh. Her feelings. And another thing is, who don't have a favorite, y'all? Is it me or is that some childish shit? To not have a favorite vegetable, bitch. Green beans. You don't like green beans, bitch?
Right.
That was nasty to me. I was like, you trifling. You don't have no lick of vegetables coming down your digestive system.
Ew. pH.
Right. But I wanted to throw out there a big part of me, I would say like 80%, maybe 90% of me, I don't think they're going to get a divorce. And I think it's because Ryan, he's not very churchy, but it sounds like a lot of his values are of someone who's brought up in the church. And he says that he needs time and trust. He's been in multi-year relationships before where he was just coasting with his time and never said, I love you. So I feel like 8 weeks isn't going to be enough time for him to give up on Clara unless she does something that's like wild as fuck. And Clara wants to be loved so bad, like Jamie said, that she'll conform. So I think at the end of the 8 weeks, they'll still be together.
I agree with that because once they're done with this housing, they still got their own separate housing. And I don't see them merging into one. So they're going to be able to be married in 2 separate households.
I hope that she leave him because I feel like they're not going to work together. And I feel like why hold on to something that's just not going to work in the long run? Like this divorce and move on and find someone you want to be with. I think Ryan, I'm wondering who he's dated that has been with him that long, who accepted how he treats them. It's weird that he even found people who would do that. So it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you don't have to say I love you in 6 months. You can't be with me for 2 years and you don't love me. Why am I with you? Like, I think that's dumb. And I feel like did the women finally leave because he would not progress further than what it was. And so I feel like Clara seemed like she can get fed up. I want her to express it. Like, don't just be, pissed off and not say shit. No, like, be pissed off. And you have all that smoke for Chris and Paige. Have that same smoke for your damn husband who won't fuck you.
Need to know, is the dick?
It's mine and I need it now. Okay. I need it now.
I want it. Give it to me now. We now have Angry Vincent and Bossy Brianna. I loved her hair right here. So I had to use that picture. we didn't see much of them this episode. We see them discussing the experts pose questions about, how do you know that you're in love? And she says her words were, for me, I look for flaws in someone and I point them out. And when I no longer look for flaws and accept them, that's when I know I'm in love. And Vincent then says how he knows he's in love when he can't stop thinking about that person, but also when he forgets about their flaws. They both say how they have their walls down right now. They both think they can trust each other and they will be saying, I love you soon. And soon came very, very soon because, again, soon came right then. Because she told him that she loved him. He says, I love you too. They both also say they're going in love with each other. I don't think this is too abnormal because at this point it's been maybe like 3 weeks and the person can have loving feelings even if they're both crazy. We then see the house. He wants to help her learn Spanish, so he pulls up a board. He teaches her 4 Spanish words per day, and it was cute because the last word was bike in Spanish. And at their wedding, she told him that she wanted a bike, and he went out and bought her a bike. I was like, that is so nice. I mean, he's an angry man, but it's so nice. I'm like, that's so nice that he remembered what she said while they were talking at the wedding when a lot was going on too. So it do show that he at least pays attention to her. He kind of listens. So it's a good thing. He's an angry man. I'm like, that was a very, very good thing to do. However, okay, later on, they go to salsa lessons for dancing lessons. And he is not a good dancer. He says, I'm not good at this dance or whatever. And because he was messing up and not doing good, he got a whole full-fledged attitude. I mean, mad. And I feel like she knew it. And she kept asking, you okay? Yeah. He then said, I'm pissed off because, again, I'm mad because I was messing up. And, his temper to me is always bubbling right underneath the surface. And anything that he feels like he's either embarrassed about, he ain't doing well or whatever, he gets pissed, he gets angry. I don't like that. So even the niceness of him getting her that bike to me is canceled out by you being pissed off about you just not being a good salsa dancer. I like them together, but something about his anger pisses me off, and I don't want them to make it because I don't want her to have to go through that unless he can, 1, recognize it, and 2, can help for it. And I also did not like her saying that she points out people's flaws. I think that's not a good thing to do. You cannot say, I'm going to look for the flaws in you and point those out. To me, that's a little bit demeaning. And I feel like, could that be what pisses him off? That she's finding his flaws and she's pointing them out, and we just don't see that, because that would piss me off too. I don't think finding flaws is a way to fall in love. I think finding flaws and pointing them out is a way for someone to not see your flaws and make you feel better. And I don't like that in her. But that's it for me.
I agree. I've never heard of that format of falling in love by searching for a person's flaws, and when I no longer see them, you're already bossing. Your family already told us how you are. So in my opinion, I feel like that's how you are in life. You're going to always look at flaws before you look at anything else. So that statement makes me believe that she does not love Vincent. I think she deeply probably care about him right now, but I don't think that they're at that place of love for her to go ahead and say that. I think that was the main thing that really stuck out for me when it came to them two, was how she goes about falling in love with people.
I don't like that she ignores the flaws. She said love for her is ignoring the flaws. And I feel like it's one thing to point them out, but it's a whole nother thing to ignore them, because that makes me feel like it'll form like an abusive type relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have to put his hands on her. Him getting upset or blowing up sometimes is enough to create that fear. So even as being bossy, been trying to self-check this entire time, because that's the person that she is. And we saw to the dance class, it was all him. Like, they were both having a hard time with the dances. As somebody that's been to, like, dancing where they dance salsa and bachata and all those things, because my friend used to dance professionally. So we've gone out salsa together because it's something that I think is fun. I'm not good at it yet, but I was dancing. You be sweating your ass off, sweat be all in your eyes, and you'll be messing up the steps and stuff like that. So I get the uncomfortability of it all, but still just having fun. And it was only two of them. It wasn't even like it was a room full of people like it was when I was fucking up the dance moves and trying to make sure that the rest wasn't sliding up, bitch. It was a lot. But I had a ball. And it's because I don't give a fuck about being bad to nobody else. I'm here to have a good time. I know I ain't never done shit before, and can't nobody tell me that I'm supposed to feel bad about not knowing how to do something perfectly I've never really done professionally the way everybody else is. So he just really needs to get that under control, because whenever he feels embarrassed, he completely flips out. And I feel like he ruined what could have been a great night. He could have just been like, I can't do this. We about to dance bachata. Y'all put some shit on it. I'm about to show her how it work. Like, he could have took this another way instead of going on this negative, now I'm mad at you because I can't get the damn dance step. Like, it just wasn't that. And he took it there.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off. It was hilarious. It was hilarious how bothered he was. What'd you say? Oh.
I said his shirt and pants were way too tight.
Oh, yeah.
I was like...
No, I was laughing my ass off because I knew that somewhere in this episode he was gonna flip shit. So whenever she first walked in the house, it was like, "Do I taste guacamole on your lips?" I was like, "Oh, Brianna, hold on! Like, you say he got food on his mouth, he might go off." So yeah, I was scared for Brianna. Any little thing. I was nervous for her. So whenever he was acting a fool at the dance hall, he said, "Yeah, I do bachata, not this salsa classroom shit." I was laughing my ass off. But you notice that Brianna kind of retreated. Like, she didn't know if she should baby him or if, like, she initially started off babying him. And then she just sat there and literally did her mouth like this. She didn't want to say nothing at all because she was scared. She is literally skating on ice, and this is the relationship that he has formed. So whenever I saw that, I was like, it's literally something wrong with all of these people. If y'all vet the contestants so well, there's no reason why these 2 or 3 weeks where they find out that they have a partner and they're waiting for marriage, why don't y'all put them in some individual counseling sessions? So by the time they get to that point to marry somebody, they are aware of what flaws they already have.
Right. So they could work on in tandem with the whole situation. Because in all honesty, like, Vincent needs some deep therapy, and I definitely you could feel her having to walk on eggshells around him, and it's just not a comfortable feeling. Because like everybody can tell, he got that switch shit. Like, you go from being quiet and sweet to flipping the fuck out. It's comfortable. It's scary.
Yeah. And you can see it coming. Like, I felt like she knew he was like, okay, getting upset because he was in the dance. Shit, fuck. I'm like, okay. And then I think when she kept grabbing his hand, like, okay, come on back. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to reassure him, like, that I don't think you being weird. Like, I still love, I love you. You know what I'm saying? And I think he was like, well, I'm just mad. And I think that's the bad part. When his parents, when his family, you have to find ways to calm him down or something or whatever. I think the same meant when he mad or whatever, someone has to pull him out of it, and she ain't doing that yet. And I think it's upsetting to her because she don't know how to talk to her husband when he's pissed, because he just stays pissed.
And I think it's annoying that that's something she even has to do. Like, think about it. Why, like, if 2 grown adults, do we have to go through this? But I had to literally baby you like a fucking toddler for you to stop being mad about something so ridiculous. It's the same thing as last week when his friend was laughing at him for getting about her not giving him a napkin to wipe his shirt up. When nigga, I'm on wiping it up. Why don't you get a napkin for your own damn shirt? Like, he's a big ass baby to me, and even though he's soft, it reminds me of abusive relationships. Where flip out, don't give a fuck, treat you like shit, and come back around with give the sweet things and want to be all calm. So you don't even know how to be sometimes. And that instability with yourself is a form of abuse. So
Lord fix it. Eric and Virginia, crazy killer Eric, okay, and drunken Virginia. I did not pay much attention to them, mainly because she kept bringing up how she feels as if they don't spend enough time together because she was out of town than he was. She even brings up how when she was out of town that he did not communicate with her as much as she would like. And I was confused. I'm looking like, wait a minute, but you the one that need all the space. You the one who said, he wants you to call him too much. I feel like, how is it now that he isn't doing that enough for you? So I'm like, make up your mind. Do you want to be around him or no? So that part was weird. And, he wants her to get that, he's going to have to travel for his job because now she's acting as if him being gone is an issue. But again, she kept saying how she needs her space. So I was very, very much confused. And they get on the thought about what love is or whatever. And he brings up how he has not been in love since he was divorced, which makes her feel as if he's comparing everybody in his life to the ex-wife, because it kind of says that. And later on, when she gets to the house and he made dinner for her at his condo, she brings up how I feel weird because, your wife was your greatest love, and it scares me that you want me to live up to that or top that. I don't think I can. And he said, well, no, I think, at that time she was that, what I'm saying? But I know there's more, whatever, and I can feel that with you. She then say, well, did you only feel that with me because we married? I'm like, bitch, what? I don't get what she wants because he's telling you he had feelings for you. It's like, what is it real? Maybe she was drunk. I don't know. But I feel like in a way, he wants her to feel as if he can love her, but I don't believe him. And she feel like he may leave her. So let me kind of cling to him even more. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't think either of y'all like each other. Y'all will make it because y'all seem like y'all both lying. They both, to me, was lying this whole episode about what she wanted and how he felt. And I was like, I just don't kill her.
Scared. It feels like a scared vibe off of sometimes. Like, I know she's like, nervous energy. And I think that's why she drinks so much, because she has really nervous energy. So she's probably always trying to lull that anxiety within herself. Because, like, when she was talking to him this episode, it was just like this really nervous, fast talking that I've noticed her do several. But whenever she's talking to Eric, he's always leading the conversation, and she's just sitting kind of, I don't know, like a deer caught in headlights. Am I the only one picking up off that?
No, you're right.
No, see, yeah.
So there's something like you said, killer crazy Eric. There's something, to me, there's some behind that. But Eric is also smart enough not showcase it on camera. But when she said that he only texted her a few times while he was gone, but when she went on her trip, he expected her to talk to him every hour or two. I was like, yeah, something is not.
Yeah. I think Eric, now they are another couple. I'm sorry. I just really wasn't paying them that much attention. But when I did pay them attention, he does give me the vibe that he's controlling, and I don't kind of like how he talks to her in a sense. It's like he talks to her as though she don't have experience in anything. And he kind of like talks down to her and stuff about like, well, you didn't have this when you were younger. You don't know what an actual marriage and stuff looks like. I had that coming up. My parents gave. So he really talks down on her, and I see yes, something is going on with him, and that's what he's going to use as a means to control her and diminish her, making her feel like she's less than. She has to rely on him, and therefore, because she's relying on him for everything, he has to control her and know where she's at, and you have to answer the phone. You're not paying the bill. I'm paying the bill. That's not your car. That's my car. Like, he's going to be overly controlling with her. I just don't like how he talks to her, and it's just like another couple that don't work.
Remember, his friend even said to him, like, you can't be talking.
Controller. Yep.
So I think his friend like clocked it immediately that he was doing something he probably done in the past. Her. And I just kind of felt like just all the episode, her nervous made me feel like he probably like grabbed your own when nobody's looking, like, all right now, don't ever on this camera. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's a killer. He looks like he's about to kill her. If the cameras cut off, she's gonna die. I'm fearing for her life. Look, I'm telling y'all, when the season go off,
Buku abusive.
He remind me of that one. It's a documentary on Netflix called Something About the American Family, and it's a man who ends up killing his wife and his kids like out of nowhere. It was random as fuck. But Chris gives me that. I mean, not Chris. Eric gives me that energy. But yeah, one of the things I noticed is he always talks to her like she doesn't know anything at all. Like he's so much older than her, almost as if he sees himself as like a parental figure to her.
Yes.
Yes. And the other thing is he always uses his experience from his last relationship that he also tried to downplay. That also didn't work out for him. So it's like, do you have the recipe? Like, that tells me that in your last relationship, you literally thought that you had the recipe for the perfect marriage and like your idea of what a wife should be. And the moment she didn't do that, you probably lost your shit. And he still carries these same ideas. So it's like, he's not listening. He's just talking at Virginia.
Yeah.
So I think he's hiding a lot of stuff from his first marriage. He claimed that he basically got married just so she could live with him, but then also claimed they were together for like 4 or 5 years or something like that. So it wasn't just like y'all got married just to do it. You were with the girl for a long time.
Right.
So it's what is it? It's a lot of stuff that he's not telling.
Hiding some shit for sure.
Yeah.
He had in plain sight because he's a killer. I can see the killer. I can see them. I know them. He's a damn killer. Somebody call the people. Get our PPO. Lastly, we have the dink girl. I just can't even. Punk ass Chris dumb diddly Page. I cannot even understand why they are on this episode. I was so confused. Paige meets up with, I call him Pastor Sexy Man. My second name is Pastor Knight. I think he's cute, even though his hair is maybe fake.
You say what's fake?
He didn't fuck someone with a congregation, okay?
His haircut means he's fucking a congregation. Like the fact that he has
same thing. I think his haircut.
He's begging somebody. I don't know who be begging somebody, and I don't like it. But what I can appreciate. So Paige met up with Pastor Sexy Man, and he reached out to check on Paige, and he brings up how, you know what I'm saying? No, she says how it's been so hard coping with this broken dream of a failed marriage of this man who she's only known for 2 weeks. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? How are you having a hard time coping with something that's brand new? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. She tells him, Pastor Dwight, how Chris has been confusing her with his back and forth or whatever of him not wanting her. Chris has been very consistent with letting her know he don't want her. Even if he backs it up with it, he's telling you first he don't want you. Anything after that does not matter. Pastor said a quote of the Bible of where a double-minded man is an unstable man in all ways. Chris is a double-minded man who was always unstable. You know, I love Chris, okay, as a brother, but marriage should not be played with, and Chris was not prepared for this. And she then say, not even before, bitch, no, not before. He was not prepared at all. And he brings up how he had reservations because Chris was previously engaged, okay, which we did not know. Chris was engaged years ago to somebody else, and the pastor had issues from back then when we first met Chris. He said Chris has always wanted to be, he said he had a desire to be married. He felt like him being matched with someone would work for Chris because Chris ain't shit. He said he also felt like Paige was a great fit for him, and he wished that Chris did not leave her so fast. Now, Paige was shocked because she did not know he was engaged before. All kind of shit fell through the cracks with Chris. And I don't see how. Paige then brings up how I don't even feel like Olga was pregnant because, one, how she's pregnant. Two, he brought up she had an appointment for an ultrasound, but then pushed it back a month. So I don't know if she's really pregnant. Now, when she later on, they all meet up at Jacob's house or whatever, and she brings up to the ladies that, you know, Chris has reached out to her. One, because she met with mom, but two, because he wants to talk to her and talk one-on-one. Claire brings up how, you know, I'm getting whiplash because he keeps doing that. Virginia wants to know, like, do y'all see yourself get back together? And Paige says, whatever God puts on my heart, that is what I will go by. What do y'all think about Paige's talk with the pastor?
She's dumb as fuck. She's dumb as fuck. I'm tired of you putting stuff on the good Lord. I'm tired of it. Everything, man. Paige, pay attention to her word choice. She's so smart. It's dangerous because she is biblically brainwashing herself into doing the shit that she already knows she want to do. She kept saying this relationship is no longer serving me at this point. Like, you know what you want to do. So the girl's an idiot. I really don't. Even the fact, like, even her word choice upsets me. Whenever she was like, have you had a revelation? Bitch. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But this shit is irritating as fuck. And I just feel disrespected as a fucking woman to watch this shit on TV week to week. Okay, I don't fucking know, Paige. Like, I ain't gonna. Okay, maybe I should have called Paige a bitch, but I feel disrespected watching this shit. Honestly, I had to say in my video, like, if you learn anything from Paige, please learn that women are the choosers. She said to the pastor that she wanted to be a wife so bad, and it is clear that you just wanted to be a wife. They could have married you off with a fucking serial killer and you would have stayed because you just wanted to be a wife. And I think the shit is just tragic to see on TV, and she needs to get a fucking life.
Now, did the pastor tell Chris he should have stayed with Paige or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding as the pastor why you would encourage some bullshit like that when you know he's not the best quality man for her, especially at this time. That's the main thing that I really grasp. And I do feel like the pastor is fake. I know I saw some posts on Facebook where people asking, like, is the pastor fake? I feel like he is kind of fake. Because he damn near wanted to laugh when Chris was releasing the information about him leaving Paige, and then now you want to give a different perspective of, I think she's the best choice. I think he did that because he knew he was on TV and how people were going to see him. But don't sit up there and encourage her to be with a man that does not value her. And you sit up here talking about, oh, well, he wanted marriage and all. He don't even value marriage. Because if he did, he would have respected it enough to not go on this show and figured it out, been a father or whatever he needs to do with this lady. And if it's not going to be the ex-fiance, it'll be somebody else. But he wouldn't have brought somebody else into this situation and then continue to play with her. You're not attracted to her, but you want to keep having sex with her. You know what I'm saying? You're not attracted to her, but you want her to just hang on, and then you turn around and say that you're the one that wants the divorce. No woman, especially a black woman, should have to sit up there and deal with the instability of a man. Mm-hmm. So I just disagree with that. And if the pastor encouraged that, you are fake, and he should be questioned.
I'm gonna say
that's really all. He made me mad with that.
I'm gonna say what it is, and I noticed this from jump. That Pastor and Chris, all of them are part of the fuck nigga, but pretend not to be a fuck nigga group. Okay,
fuck nigga society.
Cool.
Religious fuck boy.
Fuck society, but secret fuck nigga society, because they don't want the world to think that's who they are, but that's the way they move in private amongst one another. So it's almost like Paige is a woman you can use. Paige is a woman that's gonna make life easier for you. Paige is somebody that's gonna do whatever she gotta do to make your. He's gonna put you first. So when a pastor is telling Chris he's making a mistake, he's telling him you being stupid by picking the wrong woman. You should pick that's gonna love your dirty draws and do everything for you. That's what he. So when he goes to Paige and talks to Paige, I feel like it's coming from a place of trying to get her to want to even, still fuck with Chris. Like, have sympathy for him. But the truth of the matter is, Chris doesn't even have sympathy for Paige. He gets mad at the pastor because the pastor met her and felt her pain at least a little bit, or fronted like he did. Whatever the situation was, like, oh, he's supposed to be on my side. That shit is so immature and stupid that you feel like it's actually side. You are the one that signed up for this show, married this girl, continued to have unprotected sex with her, and then you told her you were going to put her first even after you told her about this shit. You did this. You made this situation fucked up. Paige might be stupid, but Chris's lack of accountability annoyed the shit out of me. And I was mad at Paige for one moment. The moment when she turned to him and said, let me explain something to you. You starting to work on my fucking nerves. When she did that shit, I felt like, oh my God, is she finally gonna stop being an asshole and taking it? But what happened? The producers tell her to go back and talk to him. And he starts to talk about how I'm scared to be in love, which is the bullshit that men say to women who they want to keep on the string. They not scared. Any man that really want to be with you gonna be with you. He gonna let nothing stop you from being with you. So all of that, anytime, ladies, listen to us. Anytime a man tell you, oh, I'm just scared, they're lying to you. That's bullshit that plays on women's emotions and our need to want to fix a nigga, or our need to want to, like, you know, make life better for him and that change everything. Like that fix it shit. Okay, they play on that. Oh, I'm scared to fall in love. I don't want somebody else to raise my kid. Hey, if you don't want somebody else to raise your kid, how about I have unprotected sex with bitches I married to? You trifling ass, dumb ass, fuck ass. Look, the boy. Listen, I'm sorry, y'all, but the way he sat down with Paige, it was awesome. I'm here to check you, but then at the same time, if I can fuck you after, I want to do that too. That's the vibe it gave. And to me, that ending on a clean slate shit means that she gonna fuck him again.
You know, situation.
Yeah, so she went on over the dose for when she went over with Chris. So when she went over with Chris, you know, Chris, one, the fact that he brought up, I was excited that you were smiling at me. He walked up smiling at her, happy that he could even be there to cause some more bullshit. And then we go into how, you know, I know you had a long week and you talked to people. It was like he met her strictly to be upset that she talked to the pastor, and how she looked shocked at the fact that he knew that, or that he was mad about that or whatever. And when she thought, well, yeah, he reached out to me because you told him that y'all was getting divorced, and he wanted you to talk to him first. And I felt like she was still appealing to him, as in, people still want us to work. Why don't you? That's what I got from what she said. And then when he brings up how the pastor should have came to me as a man and not talk to Paige, I'm saying he was on my side, not her side. And so now I don't have anything to say to him anymore. I felt like, how you upset with a pastor wanting you to work on your marriage when you don't even deserve to be married. So I feel like Chris always has been looking for a reason to get out of this, and anyone trying to keep him in it, he's pissed about that. So I'm like, that's some bullshit. And Paige is like, how this is awkward or whatever. And they just sitting there because she still don't know why he asked her to be there. And he then says how, I don't have no new news. I'm saying since last time we talked about, I wish we could have been cordial last time or whatever. And when Paige brings up, you wasted my time and pissing me off, I wish she would have just left and not let the preacher talk her into going back to talk to them. But I think if she walked away, it could have been over. A part of me feels that the producer did that to pull them both back in, because when she goes back, she's more calm. And she brings up how she's now confused and fucking conflicted that he came to tell her that he hasn't changed his mind or whatever. And she does not want anyone wasting their time. But again, him and his lap, my guard is up, I'm sad, I'm afraid, all this bullshit. He then said, if I stay with you, what do I lose with my child? So he's kind of making it seem as if I don't know what to do. I need you to do it for me. I don't like that. You know, he also brings up how I might have to go through this process and fall in love with you, even though you don't deserve this. You should not be anyone's option. Even though he's making her an option, I'm like, it makes me mad. And for Pat, I appreciate your honesty. I'm taking it all in. I'm taking it into consideration. I'm like, why are you listening to him, and why are you trying to consider anything? I was like, she's dumb. And when he then asked her, well, what do you want? And she said, I want you to give us a chance. I said, this bitch here. At that moment, I said, you know what? Paige wants to be in this fuck shit. Paige has had every chance to get out of it. And every time God gives her a door out, she walks in it. Every outdoor she walks in out is dumb. And then they say they're going to restart. Hi, I'm Paige. Hi, I'm Chris. Paige deserves whatever he puts her through, because the fact that you told him you want y'all to work out after he has shown you he's not trustworthy, he's unstable, he's manipulative, and he does not want you. He wants to be on the show for whatever reason. And I don't get why she wants it to work. You don't know him. What do you want to work? I don't get that part. And that pissed me off.
Clown and Clownette Jr.
Hold up. Hello. Let's not forget that we still wondering if Mercedes is really pregnant.
Well, no, Chris did a post on his IG. I saw it. I put the send it to y'all too. Chris did. I think you mentioned in your review, Niecy.
Yeah.
Chris posted on his IG a hospital bracelet and some paperwork. He said in the post, in August he found out she was pregnant, and in October she had a miscarriage. Okay. Is what he put on IG. He said that he did not want anyone thinking that she was lying or he was lying, that they have the, paperwork from the doctor saying that she lost the baby or whatever. He posted a whole, sadness about all that stuff. So he did say she had a miscarriage in October of 2020.
Okay, I didn't know whether they had confirmed it or not, because that question raised at this point on the show. So I feel like people are still out whether that's true or not, because Chris is the type of person to lie. So it's just kind of like, but I don't want to say they're lying about it or anything. That's something terrible, to think somebody would lie about having a miscarriage. But it's not even about her to me as much as it is about him trying not to have to pay that money back, getting out of the show early and all of that type of shit. So to me, I have a whole bunch of questions, just motives on the show overall, and the Mercedes girl. Like, don't it kind of feel like y'all were in cahoots the whole time or some shit?
Yeah.
I think Chris just fucked up his housing situation.
I
think he was talking to Mercedes, basically was like, I made a mistake. She had blown up his phone at the hotel. That's why he went missing for 2 hours. He told her he made a mistake. He had to try to find a way out. Hopefully she ain't lying about no miscarriage, but it would be the I guess a strategic scenario for them to come up with this lie. He told the production people, and I also feel like he tried to tell them behind closed doors because he didn't want to come on camera revealing to America that there was a baby, if there was. Mm-hmm. Then once you show up, Mercedes was there to get you out of some dumbass shit that she know you capable of getting your ass in, basically. She decided to try to get him out, and it wasn't until she found out that he was fucking Paige to where you fucked up your housing situation. Because I don't even think that was the same apartment that they showed in the introduction episode. The introduction episode, he's overlooking like the big old city. The apartment looks different. And then we're seeing him in a different apartment. Not unless they gave him another apartment in the same building as the other couples, but I doubt it.
It did kind of look like that, though. I was wondering that when they showed them separately, it did look like another apartment in the building.
It looks similar.
Out.
Right, but I'm like, why would y'all do that? Because Paige's apartment, all the couples' apartments have 2 bedrooms. He could just stay.
They didn't want to be together, remember, but about the end of this episode, them in this clean slate shit, it makes me feel like maybe editing things out of order. But the reason why they put Paige and him in the same building, thought eventually they would get back into the same apartment.
That's a good point, because they're capable for sure.
I think they do. I think they're working together. I think they both felt like, let's see if we can get on here, because when they came to that meeting, how they came dressed, to me, they came dressed for the show. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a part of that meant let us look good together. That's when I said, okay, they in this together. And they planned, maybe not planned it, but again, they both had an idea of how to both be on this show. I think that's the reason why the producers put in all the footage of him denying it in the beginning, because they're like, you said, if there's no connect to her now, but again, now she's on the show. Like, you plan to have her involved in some kind of way. And I think the fact that they are making it seem as if, oh, no, all this happened, I don't think it did. You was fucking her while you were auditioning and being vetted for the show. So, and I feel like if you and her was fucking, how did she not know that at all?
Yeah. Fucking clowns. Okay.
For sure.
I'm over her and him, but now they gonna be like dating, and I'm just not. I think the producers are making them be together, but I think Paige, they doing it because Paige wants to be with him, and so they're like letting it play out.
Paige is that girl. Paige has been this girl in all of the relationships that she's been in. I want to be with a man. I want to have somebody so damn bad that I'll let them abuse me and do anything to me. I probably stay with them until they leave me, because otherwise I'd have stayed with them. And I think a lot of women have been in Paige's shoes before, but we grow out of it and we don't let it like habitual going through this over and over. I mean, not to this extent, y'all, but you know,
I know what she's talking about.
just where you in a relationship with somebody and you know that they be doing you, but they dick is fantastic, all for you to really let it go. So you kind of like, I don't want to be with you no more. Come get your shit. But really, you be like, I wish you would come over here and beg me to stay together. But you know, if you a bitch like me, you got too much ego. So eventually, you gotta, you know, put their shit on the curb, let them come get it, because your ego won't allow you to be like soybean burger bitch like Paige. But you still understand the.
So that was the whole punk ass show. Okay, honey, it was so much fun. I was like, I'm so over it. But that was the panel, y'all. It's late, honey. We gave y'all all we can give y'all. Okay, we are all tired. Okay, we hope y'all all enjoyed whole night. Okay, do not forget to follow everyone's channel. Okay, everyone's IG. The links is in the description box below. Have a good night. We had a good time. We'll see y'all next Thursday on someone's channel. Don't know which one, but again, it don't matter because y'all gonna subscribe to all of us. Okay, so go ahead and do one of the two. But again, it'll be that. So, okay, we love y'all. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.